Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, Go to the roots, Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to another edition of the Afridamus Report. This one is going to be Reaction Saturday, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in the house, KBM, MC Cham, LD, and Lady from the UK. Oh, sweet. You see, especially, you know, I want the UK people to be here for this show, especially because the video I'm going to review is from the UK. You see, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is about single mothers. Who are they to blame for their single motherhood? Because you see, in the West, I live in the United States of America. I've been living here, like I told you guys, 20 years, right? And over this period of time, I have learned a whole lot in this society. And a lot of these things, even that I talk about, it's not just, you know, you just go watch a YouTube video. No, that's not just it. Or read about it in a magazine or in a newspaper or watch it on TV. No, this is fact, you know, experience. You see, here in the United States and in other Western countries, you are seeing more and more what is being promoted. I mean, I don't know how long this has been going on, but ever since I got here, this is sort of been the system where they have women who live in this delusional state. Because you see, in the West, when they say the women are educated, what they mean by they are indoctrinated. Women talk about equality in the West, but it's not equality that they are looking for. They are looking to dominate you. They are looking to dominate men. I mean, look at some of these women, even the way they treat children. You know, it's like they just have a dominance issue. So most of your African women are the same way. But in Africa, you know, that right, you know, like they have to suppress it because, you know, the majority is not on their side. But in the West, it's like that. Let's say single motherhood, they made it look so cool. You see, there's no consequences when women choose to have children. These women, you know, I mean, 1 minute they are angels, they are saints, and the next minute they can become the devil. Because you see, the power belongs to them. The power is in their hands. And today, you men that are watching me, and women as well, I am going to break this video down and give you men, especially the tool on how to remain free in a Western society? I am going to break it down for you to understand, because you see, here in America, the secret that most men don't understand. You see, they tell you that if you sell drugs, you're going to go to jail, prison, right? You're going to get a felony. This is what they teach the men, or, obvious crimes, things that people supposed to teach. But this single motherhood thing here, the slavery that is attached to it, they're not going to teach you that. That's where I come into play, because I have experienced it myself. The system is completely biased, 100%. You see, women have no issue about being hypocritical. You do realize that, right? Women are not going to tell you the truth, because you see, most of the women that are raising these children, this is how you know most women don't have love. They're not going to tell the child about what awaits them, the dangers of this single motherhood, but they will try to make it seem like this is glory. One minute they are glorifying it, another minute they are talking about how difficult it is. So you, as a young man or old man, whatever stage you are in your life, hate what I'm saying, but please listen with your head upstairs. Listen to me. This broadcast might just save your life. There is somebody sitting right next to you as I speak, or who is playing sweet. She's an angel. But my friend, if you sign a document, not all, your, your freedom starts slipping away. That's one way of you as a man. That's how you're going to lose your freedom. Another way, that's what we are here for as well. Single motherhood. The moment you make that child, because you see, you know, once you guys have that baby, guess what? She has total control over that. So maybe for most people, most guys, you think you're just having fun. You know, she's a feminist. She's talking about all that abortion right and stuff, right? You think she is really on this game. She's nice. You guys are going to Jack in the Box or wherever. But what you don't understand is the moment you have that baby, you know, the funny thing is, most of these women, sometimes you find somebody on the street, like, oh, maybe he was unemployed, right? And all of a sudden you think that because you tricked them into getting you pregnant, now all of a sudden they are going to become the hardest working man. That's not how it works. All that would do is leave you in the poorhouse. So when you make that baby, you know what's going to happen? Because child support comes in. Now you're going to say, oh, I'm breaking up with you. Because you see, you just wanted to have sex, probably, right? Or you even know, like, she is that shit crazy, like most Western women. You've seen all the red flags. But since you didn't sign any document or knock her up, get her pregnant, for that moment, you're free. She has no power over you. But the moment you cross one of those lines, guess what? Now she got power over you. Child support comes into play. And this child support is like slavery or worse. Because you see, if you have a job, right? You have a house, it could be 200,000, 2 million, whatever. You could lose your job and lose that house. All they would do is report your credit as bad. You can lose all these other things you take on loan. Nothing will happen. But even child support and alimony, I call it vagina money, these ones, even if you lose your job, you are homeless, they still hold you accountable. And even the thing that makes it worse, ladies and gentlemen, the women, they use it for punishment, right? What even makes it worse is, if you lose your job, you are behind. they would suspend your driver's license. So you need your driver's license to drive, right? That's how you would make money if you live in my part of the United States. But now, if you don't have license, how are you gonna work? And then the next move, you get arrested. But then you would hear these women on TV. Oh, they need to be a man. But you see, same women would say, my body, my choice. But you can never say, my wallet, my choice. All of us say, you're a bad man. You, you don't want to take care of your kid. I don't even love the kid. Okay? I don't love the kid. Why you want to force this on me? So my point is, in the West, like in Africa, having people having baby is like fun. They do the naming ceremony. They're happy. In the West is the birth of drama, because you must know all these women, they all have a script written. Okay, they have it written. They already have the characters in place. So when you come in, you don't realize your script have already been written. She just left that part blank to fill your name in. So you have no idea what you're walking into. You think you are in lovey la la land? Ladies and gentlemen, that's not how it is. So now I'm going to break this video down. This video is a group of first generation Nigerians and some Caribbeans. This is a UK table, because you see the UK. I noticed one thing about the UK people. I don't know if you guys have noticed that the black UK women, majority, like Juliet, for example, majority of them, they are overly aggressive. These women, like, look, I have seen good women, black American women, who some would say they're aggressive, but no, these UK women, I have seen a lot of them. I was like, what? Why are these women overly aggressive? Why? And you will come to find out most of them are like maybe first generation Nigerian. You see, so that brings me to the question. For first generation Africans, for instance, in the UK, like people that come from Africa and move to the UK or America and have children there. Because you see, these children at this date, most of them, like if they are around, let's say, like their Western counterparts, like let's say ADOS, then they would pretend to be super African. But they don't like being African, because they also have a fantasy of what African is. You see, most of these parents, because they say, oh, I'm moving with my child and my family to America or England, and these people, you come there, most of these people don't even have that type of relationship with their parents. Their parents just think, some of these parents are proud that their kid don't have the African accent, because most of them are ashamed of it, right? They are proud of it. But you don't know other people are teaching your kid. Now they are ashamed of the African culture, the one you want them to adopt. Didn't you hear most of these people on the internet, the way they sound? Well, especially most of the Nigerians, we no longer even know what they are anymore. We don't know. Because some of them here in the United States, they had distanced themselves from Africa so far. I mean, look, sometimes I even like the ADOS people would come close to you that's coming from Africa recently and say they are related to you than some of these people. Sometimes you are confused. You don't even know what they are, because you don't know if they are Black American, Black British, or they are, you know, white people in blackface. You are like, what culture are these people practicing? Because most of these people, there is no way they are good marriage material or relationship material for Africans straight from Africa. The mentality is different. So hopefully this program would help awaken, most of you to some of the things that you're probably doing it subconsciously, but you don't know. But this is you're gonna see some of these Nigerians, their behavior. I don't know. You people might think I'm picking on Nigerians, but they keep popping up. They are everywhere. So apparently they rule the UK. So I'm about to play a video here. It's a discussion about, is it single motherhood? Is it the single mom's fault or is the men? This is what the conversation is. And I'm going to give my 2 cents. Okay? So before we do that, let me play my copyright disclaimer. All right. We got that out of the way. So again, like I said, this is a UK show, and these people will talk about all these topics I'm speaking about. And again, you will see the disconnect because I think most of you know what I'm saying. Because, only in this internet thing, like there's a lot of some of these people in real life, they themselves, they're like, no, my parents are the Africans. I ain't no African. You guys think I'm trolling, but this is real. But people don't even have to say it. Behavior tells you how the person sees themselves. So I'm going to help you Africans to understand, like, all that glitters is not gold. Because you see, many of these people, they want to copy the white people. So you are safe to even go for a white girl. Because why go for the imitation when you can get the real one? You see, white girls have their craziness. I would break that also down for you. The psychology of the white woman. I'm going to do that on a special occasion to help you conquer your white woman. I'll get to that. Here we go.
Why do you guys think that women are becoming masculine nowadays?
Because men are becoming feminine.
Oh, yeah.
No, honestly, it's I put a lot of blame on men for a lot of the stuff that even men complain about, right?
Really, I feel like it started with the women.
Well, no, look, some of it does, but men have created certain conditions on a big level,
Right.
right? Okay, look, how many people are raised by, how many millions of people in Western society now are raised by single mothers?
Right, but why?
Oftentimes.
So this guy, I'm not sure, like the guy seems like he wants to tell the truth, but he is surrounded by feminists. You see the questions like she's asking like a 5-year-old. Yeah, that's how they would ask you because they know the answers, right? But they don't want to be held accountable. So that's why she keeps going, but why? But why? He knows the answer, but he's going to dance around it. But she's not going to want to say it either. But we'll keep going. He seems like he started off well, but he's giving me what they call simp vibe. It's like he's running into simp territory from the get-go. But I don't want to judge the guy. We'll let him go. What he said is true. Majority in the West, even like in America, they are raised by single women, single moms. And how do you expect them to act any different than the way they're acting? Because that's all they know. But then it's like, I don't want to cut ahead of the time. Let me allow this to go.
Because men are not playing their role. That exists.
But-
Like that.
but-
That's a big thing. But then you've got an imbalance, right? You've got both men and women are being raised primarily just by women, and
Well, somebody's saying, Afridamus, you're showing us American sample. No, this is UK actually. This guy is a British guy, British Nigerian. This is a UK show. That's what even make me want to, do this reaction, because it's just like America, in this aspect. Like this, they even over there, it seems like they even think their thought process is more delusional than even American. No, no, that's a stretch. That to outdo American women in delusion. I'll leave it at that.
the masculine role is missing, and that manifests differently for both for boys and girls as they grow into men and women. And as a woman, it's naturally, if a man is not present there, you've now got to play both. You've got to play both roles. So
No, you don't.
what?
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, you have.
I was
So this guy got it wrong. And I hear people say this. I think they just say it to make things nicer. Oh, you play both roles. No. If you are a father, that's all you are, a father or a mom. Yes, children need balance, both parents. But if one is missing, you're not all of a sudden saying both. This is why they're making it, normal. Now people think that you can all of a sudden decide you're no longer a man or a woman. Like, you can be both. No, just be what you are, and that's all. Because you see, in the past, people would say, yeah, there were single moms and the kids come out. Okay, this is true. Depending on the influence around the children, it might be single mother, but if they have strong male role models like uncles, grandfather of that sort. I'm not talking about, the mama's various boyfriends who are going in and out. No, I'm talking close family relation, the people who, are raising these children because they want what's best for them. They're not just there because they want to sleep with the mama. So that's what's common, So that's what shifted the tide. You see? So now they no longer separate the bucket. They are saying, because in the past, there is women who they would call them chicken heads. You see, when you hear chicken head, that means she sleeps with various men and have various children. This was something that was called for what it is, and it is frowned upon. It is shamed. But you see now, they've raised that and glorified to a point where now they normalize it, right? But they also know that's not the natural way of doing things. So it's literally fighting against nature and calling it civilized. So you're fighting to destroy yourself. Because I understand, like, some of the laws were based upon some of the advantages that men used to have. But instead of like correcting that, they swung way left, So now a total generation have been brainwashed, and they don't know who they are. That's why we're having these debates here. Let's see if this man is going to be honest to these feminists here.
was a single parent. No, you
Okay.
don't. This is a lie that the women say just to
Okay,
fool
let
the
me,
men.
what I mean is you are, it's a typically raising a child is a two-person job. You have the father, you have the mother. And in the absence of a father, whether that is through death or through absence or through whatever the reason, what I mean by play both roles is you've got one person doing a two-person job.
Right,
I
but
don't mean you have
but
to act like a man,
but
but
we're in
that's just
control of birth, so
Sure.
we pick who gets born, so it's our own fault. Like that's why I say it starts with the women.
I don't
Because and on top of that, like it's the development of birth control. I feel like the development of birth
Yeah, but
control
men made
started.
all of that. Men made all of that. Men made those laws. Men did all that.
You're right. I would say if I was to put it on men, I would say it's because
Yeah,
they developed birth control.
men did all that. Men are the ones.
So these people, right? Again, in these conversations, people 1 minute they would tell the truth, but then their knees would start shaking. She told the truth, right? But then she started, trying to, make it sound nice. Of course, if you're in charge of giving birth, I mean, who's to blame? Go stand in front of the mirror and see who's looking right back at you. There are 13 forms of birth control available in the market, last I checked, including abortion. You see? And I don't want people to come and say, oh, Afridamus is advocating abortion for women. No, not me. You guys have seen it, women themselves, fighting, saying, my body, my choice. They want to have the right to do that. So therefore, you have to add that also to the list of birth control. Because for some of these women, they've interviewed. I think they need to go back and listen to themselves, because I don't think they realize what they are saying. I don't think, they really understand what they are advocating for constantly. So this is why Western women tend to be in confusion. They're given so much power, like a magic wand, but they don't know what to do with that power. So it's like a ship captain who don't know how to drive the ship, but they wouldn't allow someone else who actually knows how to drive it to be the one driving it. Like if you look at on American TV, look, the fathers, all the commercials, they make the fathers look dumb. They laugh at them. And there are men that play this role. So this is why when these women, when they run into people like myself, they think I am as hard as an iron, because I'm not into that foolishness. Like, for me to fulfill your stupid ego and fantasy, like, why can't we all just be adults? Why live in this la la land? You see, when a pregnancy like this happens, when people ignore it, it is 3 lives. 3 lives destroyed, for the most part. 3. Because like in America, like some women here say, oh, it's not the UK. Same thing. In the UK, America, the woman, she has the power over the child, especially if you're not married. Like here in America, the woman can just, like, if you did not file any custody, automatically she's the one that has the custody. She can move wherever she wants with the child. And you pay child support. Just because you're not seeing the child, doesn't mean that you're not gonna pay. And then they come to you and say, oh, be a man and take care of the child. Now, mind you, this woman have decided that she's going to move to Timbuktu, right? She moves to Timbuktu. Now you still gotta pay the child support, right? That's money being taken from you. So if you're someone who's not making much, when would you be able to visit? But now she's in Timbuktu. If you're smart, why would you go to Timbuktu? Timbuktu is her territory. So some of you foolish guys, you get emotional. You get this woman to talk you into this stupidity, to say, be a man, that's the way to go. Travel and follow these women over this. And then you find yourself in jail. They make it sound like it's a noble cause. You're chasing a Jezebel. Don't be surprised when you find yourself in hell, because the Jezebel have pushed a self-destructive button. I know people don't like it when I say it like that, but you are seeing it. The person is not hiding it. You have to look at the mentality, what they think is normal, what they are arguing over. This is not normal for women to advocate, to say that having a child by themselves, single mother, to keep the kid, that's what makes sense. This is not normal. This is why this society is messed up. And then those same women, they use those children like they are pets to punish the father for it. And the women, they would never teach their sons about this, because that would mean they would admit to the son that, or daughter, this is what they were doing to their father. So this is what is going on in the West. So this is why I chose this video, so that you guys can hear the conversation. By the way, this guy, I think his name is Zobi. Zobi doesn't have a child. He is not married. So, but he's got common sense. Let's see how much common sense he has.
Who made those laws? Even men are the ones who came up with no fault divorce. Men are the ones who come up with. So, I can't just. I know it's popular to kind of put it all on one gender, and I think that there's both at fault. But if I look at it, ultimately, men have played a massive role. I'm not saying every single man, of course not, right? But men in general have played a massive role in this, oftentimes by not stepping into their proper masculine roles and leaving it for women to pick up the
What do you mean?
pieces.
Can you explain that more?
What I mean is, if I get a woman pregnant,
Right.
okay, and I can step up and do what I'm supposed to do morally, ethically, family, socially, culturally, like I'm supposed to step up into that, right? And I choose not to. I choose to.
Sir, he is dancing around when they say do what is morally. What do you mean? Just spit it out. Again, I told you guys, the moment you find yourself in that condition, your power have been taken away from you. So now it is up to that woman's temperament and what you are willing to accept. That's what it comes down to. Because obviously, this baby was conceived under ideal conditions, you guys, on ideal conditions. So the woman, as you know, would most likely propose that this guy, sign documents for them to get married. And the guy would probably more likely be like, nah, this is not what I planned. Or, from some of these people, they probably just met this chick like, at the club or some website whatsoever. They say all sweet nothings to each other. And, these women, they play the masculine role. Like, yeah, I'm down with this. You see? So you end up finding yourself there. And for some of you, you're so unlucky. You become the seventh baby daddy. I guess the sixth one did not teach you a lesson. You still hung around. You end up being the seventh baby daddy. Those are the ones that, I can say, yes, most definitely. That's their fault. That's their fault. That part, yes, I would say yes. If you're the seventh baby daddy, because there's no way you could not have known she had 6 before you. So, yeah.
Abandon. I choose to leave her to fend for herself and deal with that, or what? Maybe I'm sending a check every couple, right? Then that's my bad. And by the way, and this is happening to the tune of millions.
Right. I agree with you, but I'm sure you're so familiar with the red pill. Women are the ones that leave. We leave 70 to 80% of the time, 90% of our college educated. So while there are two sides to it, like, and we could talk about the 30%, like, why wouldn't you start with the 70%? If women are the ones leaving?
I think we're talking about two different situations, right? So we're talking.
Well, you just said.
So the male abandonment tends to happen at a relative.
You see, when a guy like him puts a lot of emphasis on male abandonment, and this white woman is an honest woman. She's not far gone. She's like, bringing points that are true. The guy doesn't have control. He doesn't. So this Zuby guy, I think he is, teetering on the line of pandering. And you see, in this day and age, if you try to flip, try to, change, falsehood into reality, people would see it, will call it out. If you are going to go to these conversations, you better be ready. So the man is trying to say it is the man's fault. He is totally ignoring what the realities are. He's ignoring it. The woman at that point, she has all the power. I don't know if he knows that. I don't think he understands.
Relatively early stage.
Uh-huh.
Right? So the child is born, or the child is not even born yet, and the dude disappears, slips out the picture. And then you're talking about there's actually a relationship or a marriage, and then the woman breaks away from that. Yeah,
both. I would say women leave relationships more too, and in the first situation, like we know when we're ovulating. So I just feel like if we're in control of birth, like that's on us. And a lot of times girls will like try to make a guy that's not a husband into a husband, and they'll try to like get pregnant and keep the kid. Like, and so
you see this, the lady, the host here, she's absolutely correct. She is right. Again, remember in the beginning how I said this woman, they've written their script. So your name, the part you're supposed to play, they left it blank. So the only way most of them will act on this is by trying to use the power of the state, because again, if you sign the document or you get her pregnant, now you've gotten the state involved. And guess whose side they are on? It's not going to be yours. That's for sure. So what she's saying is true. I don't know if Zuby is deliberately ignoring that part, or his knowledge is not that vast in that area yet.
It's like, I'm not going to put that on the men when you knew who he was.
I put it on both.
Okay.
I put it on both. I'm not going to let men off the hook here. Right? Just like I wouldn't let women off the hook. If someone was trying to put this all on men, I'd be like, no, you can't let women off the hook. If also someone's trying to put it all on women, I'm like, well, you can't let men off the hook. Right? There's millions and millions of men out there who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
As a single parent, I think that, I know they're saying that men invented the pill, but somebody must have invented cyanide or poison. Nobody made them take it. Right? So just because somebody's making something, it don't mean that, you can go ahead and take it. And when it comes to single parents, I can understand you saying, I've only got one child. Single parent, one child. But when you get women having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children, 8. I think there's some out there 9 that was still looking for dates. Sometimes by 9.
This woman is speaking with wisdom. That's why she had to step in to correct Zuby. Guys, remember when I was saying if you are the 7th baby daddy, some of you thought, Afridamus, you are exaggerating. You see, she went up to 9. I don't think you guys have any idea. Sometimes some of the people, like how far they go with this. Like, I'm talking zero accountability. She's absolutely right. I mean, like, if you're running the numbers like that, I mean, at that point, guys, come on, let's be real. The person is being intentional at that point. You see? I mean, let's say first time mistake, whatever they call it, if that's even allowed, right? But you keep running it up, at that point, you're doing it on purpose.
And different fathers. Can't put it all on the man. I'll say, yeah, the first one, yeah. Because a lot of men don't ask to be fathers. They don't ask to be fathers. My son's dad never asked to be a father. Actually, I was on the pill. It was an accident. I actually discussed it with him. And even though he agreed that I have the child, I was...
The cure said, black men take no responsibility. How many times do you see a white man having 7 baby mamas? Plenty of times. Like, come on. I will tell you right now. I know some that they give this rap, all this bad rap to black men, but no, there are white dudes out here who plenty of them who's got up to 7 baby mamas, like you're saying. Oh yeah, there are some of them out here. Trust that. It's not only black men doing that. And also, when you say take no responsibility, yes, sometimes there are many who don't. But if you look at the conditions, who creates that condition for that to even happen? Like the host was saying, like you see the guy, he lives with his mama, he plays video games all day, for instance. Or, he lives with you, he watches your first 2 babies. Because some dudes, that's how they are. They live with you there, in your Section 8 house. So I get it. The guy is an idiot. He has no ambition to be there. But you, the woman, who truly, you're the one who's going to be left with the child. If you truly care about the future of that child, why would you even allow an opportunity like that to happen? So it's like, even the first babies, the ones that are already there, you are robbing them of that opportunity. Let's just say, fine, she already had 1 child or 2, and yet you still keep seeing this same person producing more. At that point, you can't say it's the dudes. Those dudes, they are idiots, because there's no consequences for the women other than nature. But you, the dude, there's consequences for men. There's consequences. So if you speak in responsibility, it should be pushed more to the women, because they're the ones with the power. They're the ones that can decide if a child, appears or not. They're the ones that can decide that. So, like the man is saying, oh, I'm not trying to exonerate X, Y, and Z. No, I'm just presenting it like it is. It is for people to learn. As far as the dude part, if you notice, I'm not gonna hit on that as much. It's more for the dude to see their part, to stay far away from, ever letting this happen. That's my whole point here.
I knew that if I had to raise him on my own, I did, because he never asked for him. And I don't believe in abortion. So as far as I'm concerned, single parents, there's no excuse. Even if the father's not there, there's plenty of really good role models out there, male role models. You've got the grandfathers, you've got the uncles, you've got the really good friends. And then you should be able to do that with a child without expecting anything. My son is 36 years old. I think in all his life, I took £100 from his dad. That's what I asked for. £100 for his dad. And when they say that, oh, the government supports them and everything, and I remember at the time I was studying, and they said, oh, you get extra money for being a single parent, but they want to know who the dad is. And I said, no, take your money. Take your money. He's not a good influence on my son. Take your money. I'll do it on my own. But he always had good role models.
Yes. And that's important. And that's important.
See, did you guys hear her? She's not a new school single mama. Her son is 36. So you see, there used to be the women that take pride in raising their children for the better. So I'm glad they brought her on the panel so she can, kick some sense into them. Because a lot of the ones I understand, they probably don't have children. So obviously the women who's never have kids, or if they're one of these single moms we're talking about, they are going to be defensive. I get that. But just kick back and face your responsibility.
They make too many single parents make it look so hard. It's hard when you don't it's hard when you don't know how to shut your legs. When you don't know how to shut your legs and you don't know how to get both control, of course it's going to be hard. Now, bearing in mind, there's no excuses. I'm the exception to every rule there is out there. I'm the exception. Any situation, I can say I'm the exception to everything. So I'm a rarity. But I know a lot of single parents. And I for that with some of them that are friends of mine, because I was a hard-working person. I can afford for them to have children and they're not working, but I couldn't afford for me to have any more because I was hard-working. So I can't always say put it on the men, because at the end of the day, you can say put a condom. You think that after getting pregnant on the pill, that I just relied on the pill or I just relied on the condom? I was using everything there was. You name it. Even if I had the injection and they said it's 90%, I'm still using the condom. Even if I was on the pill, I'm still using the condom. So it's got to be down to the women. Because at the end of the day, a single parent with more than one child for the same person, I can understand that. But a single parent with loads of little, I was going to say little nigglets. But
she's absolutely correct. Isn't this what I was saying? She is absolutely right. I mean, if you are that fertile, practice abstinence. But some of these women, the amount of children they have, sometimes it's as if, I'm like, how did this happen? Is it like one of these women, even if you look at them hard, they become pregnant or what? You see, those are the same people that come around and talk about, oh, it is so hard. Yeah, somebody got to feed all those mouths. Now she got to go to the government. So I'm glad this woman cleared that part. Like she said, she never relied on the government. And that's the old school single mother. She laid it out exactly. But now, let's look at the modern ones. The modern ones they are just, 3 or 4s. If you don't know what that lingo is, go look it up. But that is exactly what is happening. They want to have their cake and eat it too. You see? That's just the truth.
that's just a saying that's in my head.
Snatchers.
What was it?
Snot noses.
But the little
babies.
Yeah. And you got loads of them running around. I remember I grew up with a girl and she was like the black version of Angelina Jolie. I saw her, and every single nationality you see she slept with. Maybe to try them out. And they were all, she never had 2 kids that resembled each other, and they were all hers.
So she didn't discriminate.
And at the end of the day, and you're saying that, I'm playing devil's advocate here, because I've got 1 child for my son's dad.
Yes.
Guess how many children he's got? My son's the 2nd. No, the 3rd. Guess how many?
How many
he's got?
The father of your child? Oh boy, I mean, I don't know.
16.
16. Okay. Wow.
16.
I was going to say 8.
He's got 16.
Well, okay.
So you're trying to tell...
Guys, I'll tell you, like, one time when I used to work in the corrections department, I met this guy. He was an inmate there. And at the time, he was like, about the same age, like 28 or so. He already, at that age, he had 10 kids. 10 kids by 8 different women. Yeah. 10 kids by 8 different women. So 16, man. I'm telling you, this is a while ago. That guy, he probably went past 16, because Most of those guys, every single time they, they finish a bid in prison, they come out, they are getting somebody pregnant. So generally, when people even speak of black men, if you look at the stats, if you read the stats and you look at it, it's not that majority of black men actually are knocking up women. It's a small group. Because if you're in the city, most black men you will see, young ones, most of the time, they do not have any children at all. There is a segment, a population that is producing all this.
Told me that, all right, then the first one, I think he was at school, and it was a school, like there was both at school. The second one was supposed to be my son, but I knew different. I knew there was another one out there. That's why I said third, because he's still trying to convince us it's a second.
Okay.
All of his children know their parent. All of his children know their dad. You're just trying to tell me that you see a man and he's got 2 children, a different parent, 3 children. How the hell are you going to get to the woman who's had number 16? Then he got married to somebody that have no children for him. She can't. But you see what I mean? So you can't keep on. Sometimes it's the women. Shut your legs.
It's both. I mean, it takes.
Shut your legs. Because the women will go out there and they will see a man.
It's both.
And they think, oh, he's this and this.
But the difference is it's 80, 90. Well, it's like it's most women where it's a small percentage of men.
Yeah.
And so you're going to say.
It's a small percentage of men that what, sorry?
That it's a small percentage of men that
that
women want, and so that are
okay,
doing.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Sure.
it's such a small percentage. So when you say it's the men too, it's like okay, it's 5, 10, whatever it is.
And then when you get the children that can't see their.
I'm not sure I get what's being argued against here.
No, who's to blame for single parents? It's all. Sometimes they say it's all about the women.
Okay.
Is it about the men?
See, they have to bring Zuby back because Zuby is speaking in generality. So I'm glad the women are telling him, no, you have to understand. You cannot say and the men, because the men are in the minority number. This number is being overblown. You see, these women are choosing the same small group of guys. That's what is happening. So it's overblown. Like the woman here said, think about it. One guy, 16 children. I remember a few years ago, I watched this news clip. In fact, I wish I would have looked for it. Somewhere in Tennessee. I believe these guys, they're from around close the same area. Between them, I believe is 12 guys or 6. When they broke it down, they made a total of 85 children in that part of Tennessee. I think Nashville somewhere. And these guys are jailbirds. Ask yourself, how are these guys able to produce all these kids? So you're speaking 12 guys making those babies. So when you hear about single moms, you're thinking it's a whole bunch of guys involved in this. No, it's just a small group of guys. So this has been overblown. So that's why you have to talk to the women. Like the Kia said here. She said, I was raised in an African household. The moment you get your period, you are warned about pregnancy, not to bring shame to the family. Exactly. Because you see, I bet you the Kia is not going to sit there and try to debate her mom about, all her sexual freedom. Oh, they would have washed her mouth with soap. You see? So that's how the accountability is created from the household. But now when you leave it to the TV to teach the people, give them the idea, they are like, okay, it's a sexual revolution, but there is consequences. And some of these women, they don't know how to find birth control. Somehow they don't.
And
to me,
I think sometimes the single parents, the women use it. They use the sympathy.
Yeah, to me it's completely 50-50. Like it's literally to me it's literally 50-50.
I don't think it's 50-50. As a single parent, I don't think it's 50-50.
I mean, if I go out there and I father 16 kids, right?
That's a problem.
Like that's on how's that not on me?
Because we're in control.
But how is it? What about the women as well?
Yeah, but it's on them too. But it's also on me. I don't know why I would I don't know why I would be absolved of the fact that I've chosen to go out.
See, this guy Zuby is talking like a woman. You know, he's speaking like a woman would talk that is delusional in the West. Dude, fine. If you want, you can get the 16 children, but I can assure you it's not going to go well. You know, it's not going to go well. There is consequences for you as a man to do that. There is consequences. They would hit your pocket so hard you would be broke completely. So there's consequences for that. So to debate that is not even realistic. Just look at it for what it is and choose the smart route. You know, that's just people that are watching these youngsters. Look, don't let this man's smart mouth debate fool you. This is not realistic. Okay, a man have no room to make this mistake. No room, because you would be hit hard. I'm talking real hard.
Because we have more control. Like you can get an IUD. It's 99% effective. You don't have that control.
We do to a pretty strong extent. It's not
if
that
the women don't want to get pregnant.
Like if you want. I'm
not saying like some.
You know what I mean? If I wanted to have 16 kids, I could have 16 kids.
But why are women choosing to have 16 children? All right, then some of them have got 5 children.
I could even just be like, if I were a snake, I could even be completely deceptive about it. Like,
no, he wasn't.
I've got 14.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, but I'm saying you could as a man.
Yeah.
As a man, you could have 12 kids out there, and go and have a 13th. With another, she's not even aware about the other 12 or whatever. You can say whatever, you know, even.
So the hypotheticals he is giving is not realistic. You know, like, dude, if you go there and like you make 16 kids, I mean, it's over. Like, you will pretty much just be working and paying child support. Like, you would never retire. Yeah, imagine paying child support when you're 60. Okay? Like you can never stop. Like, that doesn't even make sense to even suggest that idea. See, that's the disconnect. He is arguing from a point of what ifs, like La La Land. There's a video about Terrell Owens, former NFL. I believe Theo was a wide receiver. He was at the top of his game. This guy made millions. But Theo, just like any other, you know, high rollers. Theo was one time, he was on a show, I believe Dr. Phil, because he was no longer in the NFL. He wasn't making the money. Man, the man, child support made him cry, because you know how much he was paying to, I think, 2 or 3 different women? $50,000 to each every month. $50,000. So he no longer makes that money, and those women, they don't want to forgive him. Imagine all those years the man was playing sports. He was making that money, giving them $50,000 every month. You would think they would keep it, right? That's easy, you know. $50,000 every month, that's a lot of money. But they're like, nah, hey, we still want the $50,000. So it's like, all right, they're not even saying, okay, we get it now. You're no longer making that amount of money. Let's reduce it. No, they are saying, no, we want it. Because here's the thing. When you go to court, the court is holding you to the amount of money you were making. And they say they give the money according to the father's lifestyle. Really? Why don't they just take the kid and give it to the father and the kid can live that lifestyle? But no, this woman would fight to keep the kid. If you think that kid deserves the lifestyle of the father, don't fight it. Just give it to the kid to him. He's got enough money. He can hire nannies or whatever. But again, they know how the system is designed. The system is designed to screw you over, you the man. But the only way they can get you is if you let it happen. So I'm totally lost. I don't get what argument he's trying to make here. It's not making sense, because sure, if you want as a man, sure, you can go have 500 babies. I mean, but give it a shot. Let's know how that would turn out. It's not going to turn out well. I kind of suspect that.
Promise, oh, we're gonna do this, whatever.
I don't believe it. Girls know.
But in this situation,
dude, there's some dudes.
in this situation, they were all aware. They were all aware.
No, even girls, they know, and this is what irritates me is they'll act like they don't know. They might not know that, like, maybe 13 kids. They might not know, but when a dude is sleeping around, you do. And I don't believe it for a second when these girls say, "Oh, I didn't know. I found out later." I think there's even a difference between sleeping around and fathering or just having a ton of kids. I mean, to me, it's a 50-50 thing.
Some of them, they have like 5 from one and 2 from another, and
90%.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Pearl.
50-50 thing, but.
And what makes it worse is that they choose the bad men, and then they're proud of it at the time, and then when it doesn't work, they blame the men.
I've seen that a lot.
I had a woman come up to me. Woolworths isn't there anymore, but she came up to me with a baby and said, "He's got a boy now. See?" And I thought, you already had 2 girls. You're not with him. And you're going to approach me to say that he's got a son? Because I'm the only one with 1. And I thought to myself, why would you do that? Why would you even go there and have more children? But all the women knew. All the women knew that he had all these children.
They always know.
And then they blame him. Oh,
but he knows as well. Like, I don't understand why we are absolving all responsibility from the man.
So here comes the feminists. You can tell she was fuming. So you can tell she's like young. She doesn't have any children, so she's gonna probably go from the feminist talking point. But again, here's how you even know. Like, look, I told you. Do you know here in America, in most of the states, I believe probably all of them, but I would speak on my state. In my state, if you go to prison and you're allowed to have what they call conjugal visitation, trailer visit. So like some of these women, like sometimes you would see guys who they probably are down for life, right? They would say LWAP, never coming out. So some woman probably saw this guy's story on the news that he, set 5 women on fire. So you would think that would scare women from him. No, letters would start pouring in, and one of them would marry this guy and start coming. Eventually, the prison would approve her to come to these trailer visitations. They would make babies. So in societies, they would consider some of these people single mothers. But little did you know, she is married to Johnny the murderer in cell block D. So she's going there making these babies coming, and you thinking, okay, she's a single mother, So all these people are adding onto this mess. And some of them, in fact, while this murderer is over there, they would have another Pookie and Ray Ray out here. Lord knows who is actually the father, but this stuff happens non-stop. I mean, like my mind, that's why when I hear some people, when they are talking, their experience in life is so limited. Or when they want to talk about, dating, opening people's eyes. Look, people, I usually don't get into it, but I can assure you, I can be what they would call a love doctor, because I would lay it out exactly how it is and how, what you're seeing in society, the science. I didn't only study it in the free world. I'm talking, the things I used to see the people do, these women come into the prison and they are making the babies. How can you not say, it's their fault? If you're going to assign fault, who are you going to assign it to? Let's just be real. But let me allow the little feminist here to talk, because you see, according to her, she's probably one of those who, she's totally not trying to flash her boobs, right? She's totally not doing that. But she's sitting here showing it. But when you look at it, she'll be like, why are you looking at me? Because, ma'am, you're showing it. But also, how do you know I'm looking at you if you were not looking at me? You see? So, yeah. But if you tell her, oh, dress, cover up, you're a misogynist. But she's laying it out. If you look at it, you are a pervert. So this is what you're dealing with in the Western world.
I'm
16 children. How are we acting like he's a martyr?
Because we're in control of sex.
Would you have a child
They're
with a
in
man with
control of
15
relationships.
children?
He can control that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure she's on the pill. If she lies to you,
I was on the
that's
pill.
different.
I was on the pill.
Yeah, but that's different because you were on the pill. But it's like you literally you know that you're having sex could potentially have a child.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes.
You didn't do anything to make sure she stops this happening. How can you then have no responsibility for the children?
I'm not disagreeing. Like, yes, men have a part to play, but I just think it's more on the women because we have control. We are in control of birth. If you get pregnant, you can get an abortion. Men have no say in that. So until that's equal, I can't say we're equally at fault.
I think in terms of abortion, it's
and we have 41
sometimes.
forms of birth control. What men have one.
You see, I said 13. So there is 41. So no excuse here.
And we're also in control of the people that we sleep with. You can require they wear a condom.
But that's even misogynistic.
What did I tell you guys? The little feminist said, she threw the word misogynistic. So you're talking to somebody, literally what you're saying, hey, this will, in fact, protect you and the person, everybody. So it's hard to even talk to somebody like her because she is debating against logic and she wants to throw that word misogynistic. So saying take responsibility and wear condom, that's misogynistic. Okay, let's continue.
Not developing not developing a lot of birth control for men when men are having sleeping around with these women. That's misogynistic in itself.
They've tried, but it led to a lot of men being sterilized. So it's not misogynistic.
There's a new one they're working on. That's just a simple biological equation because men produce millions of sperm every day. Yeah. Women produce 1 egg per month. It's easier to control 1 egg than it is millions and millions of sperm. So that's just a biological function. That's why it's like that way. It's not because, scientists are mean and misogynistic and want to kind of put it all on women. It's just that it's easier.
So it is mean and misogynistic to do the things that make sense. Did you guys see why in the beginning I said the thinking is going against nature, going against what makes sense? So the feminist, the black UK girl, I think she's first generation Nigerian, she introduced the misogyny word. But what I've sensed, I think she's a man hater also. But I might be wrong. But the way she speaks, I suspect she's a man hater. In the West, you would find so many women who are man haters. You do realize this, right? But we'll give her a chance. I might be wrong. You never know.
that way, which is kind of this, you just got a barrier. You can just have a barrier. But it's just a tough thing to work out.
Also, when it comes to women, we know the days that we can get pregnant. We can be a little bit more risque with it and be like, okay, I may not have to take the pill today. I may not have to go get a plan B. We know when the peak time for us to get pregnant. That's why I think it'd be more so on the women than the men. I'm not giving all fault to.
I'm gonna be maybe.
See, so Zuby's still gonna try to debate the light-skinned woman. Look, the women know, they know their body. She's absolutely right. They know their body. These are smart, educated women. Remember, see, these women, they get smart and educated about everything except that. So he wants to sit there and try to debate against women, women using logic. Like the Kyo said, I totally agree with the feminists. I'm not surprised. The Kyo, you are a feminist. I'm not surprised by you at all. She said the white girl is being disingenuous. How? She's being factual. I bet she probably had a lot of abortions like most of my white friends. Wow, the Kyo. If I didn't know you, I would have said, you are so judgmental, right? Yeah, that's not judgmental at all.
Maybe I'm just going to be like old school here, but look, we all know how babies are made, man, woman. We all know how this process works. Number one, some people won't like me saying this, but I don't think you should be having sex with people who you're mortified with the concept of having a child with.
Exactly.
Right? Like if the thought of having a child with that person is going to be like the end of the world or some.
I think I'll have to agree with Zuby on that. Yeah, I'll have to agree with Zuby on that. But again, it's the West, man. 41 forms of birth control. But if you're going to take his advice, please go and practice monk mode, abstinence, do what I do, take cold showers and pray to your Lord that something good will happen. Okay.
Horrible, then maybe you shouldn't be. And this goes for, I'm saying this for men too. All right, I'm saying this for men too. If the thought of that woman getting pregnant by you makes you want to run to the hills, maybe, bro, you should, be careful there. So, these conversations sometimes frustrate me because it's like, it's kind of, it's like, look, let's just be mature about it and make good decisions and don't be reckless. There's different options out there. Anyone who knows me knows I'm straight up pro-life. I don't think that executing the baby is the way forward at all morally. But there are many things you can do to prevent that and not get to that stage. So I think I don't want to let men off the hook on this at all.
This guy is scared of speaking straight. He's not saying the things he want to say, but I'll continue letting it play. But he's not telling the truth. He's not.
Because we both sexes need to just be responsible and sensible with this. Like sex is not, I know that modern society wants to push out and indoctrinate everyone with this message that it's just, some completely random, inconsequential fun activity like ping pong or going to the, or whatever. But it's like, it's got very serious potential lifelong ramifications. And it's how we all got here, right? It's like it's a major thing. And with something that can have such potential ramifications, people should not treat it so carelessly. I think.
I agree with the man. How can you argue with that, right?
That's the truth of it. It shouldn't be treated so carelessly and recklessly. And I think if, and by the way, people always knew this. Like, this isn't some new, I'm not saying something new here. People knew this forever, which is why there were certain behaviors that were frowned upon or promoted and so on and so forth. It's not just trying to be mean to everyone or to cramp down on their liberty. It's like, well, children are the product of this.
I just think that birth control should be banned.
Oh wow!
It should be taken off the market.
I agree.
Okay.
I feel like that's I know.
I think
I think women shouldn't vote.
My stepdad.
So the old school woman, she said birth control should be banned. So let's hear what her reason is. Maybe that would, reduce the amount of fornication. Who knows? Or not.
Now, if I told you that my stepdad had 14 children, what do you think about that? If I say my old stepdad, my late stepdad had 14 children. Now, I said to you my son's dad had 16, and my late stepdad had 14.
Interesting.
The only difference.
Do you guys think she's Jamaican or from another island? If you guys know the accent, drop it.
Is he had 13 from one woman.
Okay.
But the only reason why it's able to progress like that, I believe, because of birth control.
Can I ask what you guys mean by that? By saying you think birth control should be banned?
How could you put that on the guy? I would put that on the woman.
So basically, she's saying that a woman should not be able to decide to terminate a child.
Oh, I see.
I didn't say that.
No, she said
I didn't say that.
That's what birth control is, right?
No.
Contraception.
Listen, ask some traditional Catholics. And they'll tell you about birth control. You want to get pregnant, you have sex. Otherwise, you know when you're ovulating and you work around it. Because proper Catholics don't believe in birth control.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And my late stepdad, his former partner was Catholic. They had 13 children. So every time they were going to have sex, they knew that if we have it at this time, or there's a possibility, because in those days I didn't know about ovulating, you're going to get pregnant. So if every woman and every man went out there, especially the women, because they're the ones that have to carry the baby, if you knew that every time you had sex, there's a possibility you got pregnant, there'd be less sex.
So where would I stand as an atheist who doesn't want kids?
Yeah.
As an atheist who don't want kids?
I just can't have sex, or just have to work around when I'm going to be ovulating.
Okay.
If I have normal periods, that be.
Well, you can just work your way around it.
How?
Yeah.
Or just tie your tubes.
Yeah,
Get everything just done.
I'm pretty trad, but I'm not in favor of banning birth control.
Send it back.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I thought she was gonna be, bringing something that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know about that. Banning birth control. Like, is she trying to get everyone to be like her uncles or stepdad? Like, keep making, babies nonstop? Nah, that doesn't make sense.
I also because I am pro-life, and I don't want that would just lead lead to a massive spike in abortions, and I think that would be
I think there's more abortions now than there was back in the day.
There are more abortions after the development of birth control than before.
I think we're talking about things in an ideal world. I think we're forgetting about people's self-determination. You can say to someone, you shouldn't do that. That's as naive as a parent of a teenager going, don't go out and do drugs and have sex. They're going to do it anyway. And that's what we're like as society. We're going to go out and have sex. We're going to do it whether you
but the difference is with birth control, you take away the consequence. And I just think there's ramifications when you take away the consequence. If you look at after the development of birth control, like the chart of when birth control was introduced and then the divorce rate in society, it's like literally the same.
But if we take away birth control, what would happen to the abortion rates?
Exactly.
I think women would just be more careful with who they slept with.
But then that's too much pressure on the women.
Yeah, that's too much.
I don't think so.
No. Look, these people are dancing around it. I proposed it a while ago. Like, if the woman wants to have sex, either you pull it up on the cell phone document, which they would agree to, and say, look, I do not want to have any children whatsoever. You are also taking entire responsibility. This is just fun, so there's no child support attached to this. If you come up pregnant, I have the option. I get to choose if I want to be in this said child's life or not. And both parties sign. You see, now that's responsibility, because now the woman knows if she come up pregnant, she can't just run to the state and then the state goes after some dude and gives her Section 8 or whatsoever. that will not happen. So you see, there's consequences. Because if the woman knows this guy can exonerate himself if he wants to, just as if she wants to take the child and run with the child. So that would, definitely solve that problem. I guarantee you. I have proposed this many times. I even went to one meeting where they were, some campaign, and I suggested it, but the people somehow they were pretending like, oh, I cannot believe you would say such a thing. But there were people that agreed with me. Common sense, people with common sense who agreed. I know, like, literally, they would probably not suggest the document because you see, in the West, they said, woman power. Everything is about, this fake power, right? And I understand there are so many adults in the Western world who they don't need to enter such contracts. But it seems like the media focuses on this so much and amplify it, and it affects so many people's life. Because either maybe it's set up that way, for government to have total control over society, or these women are just wicked. I don't know which one it is. But that would be the best way to solve this problem.
I don't. Okay, you don't think it's okay. You don't think it's good that women should be careful with who we sleep with.
Guys, please make sure you hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And someone was asking, how do you call? I would drop the link in a little bit, Jamal Perkins. That's how you call. Just bear with me here. I'm gonna drop the link here shortly.
Yes.
No, I think
okay. That one 100%.
Right. So because you said it's too much pressure.
It's too much pressure to, like, oh my gosh, like
I'm
I can't.
ovulating.
Yeah, I'm ovulating. I can't have sex.
That's
I'm
mad.
gonna end up being pregnant. It's too much pressure on
have
your
sex
mind.
with your
love.
husband
Too much
only then.
pressure.
Guys, can we understand that women get horny?
Exactly.
Are you guys okay with that concept? Like, I am horny outside of my ovulation period.
Listen,
I
right.
want to
Then
have
you just
sex.
take
Women have got horny in the
You
50s.
take your
Women
birth control,
women have
right?
got horny from day one. Women were getting horny before birth control.
So you shouldn't have sex if you're
No.
horny.
I'm
it's
saying
not your ovulation period.
Like, I think it goes back to what Zuby said, to not sleep with someone where it's horrible if you have a child with them.
Of course.
That I agree.
The cure said, I am a feminist because I don't agree with your manly talk. And what is that manly talk that you hate so much? That's what makes you a feminist, in fact. You see? Oh, let's see here. We have MS Delta. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Give me a second here. Let me, thank you for contributing here once again. Thank you for the super chat. That's from MS Delta. Now, let me read what he wrote. He said, Afridamus, good topic. With the different types of birth control in the West, there is no such thing as accidental pregnancy. I totally agree. But you see, that's what they would call it. That's what they would totally call it. Single mother is a way for society to control without strong men. I agree with that. That's why this feminist here, you see, she wants to be a man. She wants to be a dude. Just like, the Kia said, she doesn't like my manly talk. So that means she wants me to be feminine. Guys, never ever, you see, when these women, they tell you things, do the opposite of it. Because you see, the moment they can mold you into the way they want you to be, it's over. If you allow them to treat you like one of their girlfriends. I used to remember sometimes you date some of these women Western women who are so conceited. They want to emasculate you, for instance. You'll be out there at the mall. They have their purse and they're like, oh, can you hold it for me? I'm like, don't you have hand? I thought you brought it. Did you ever see me carrying a purse? I do not carry a purse for a reason. I have a wallet. So I am not going to carry the purse. But you have like guys walking around at the mall. They're like, oh, you are so enlightened. They are carrying the woman's purse for her. Or better yet, all of us, like you would see that we are in winter and it's cold. So you want to come out with just your bra. And then, but you're dressed in your jacket. So they do it in a way like they're saying they're testing you. Oh, a man would give up his jacket. Ma'am, it's below zero. And you knew this. You checked on your iPhone and you saw the weather, just like I did. So I dressed up for the occasion, for the weather. You showed up in your bra. Now you want to give me the man test. And you can never pass this test. Because mind you, someone who is not even a man want to test you about what to be a man. Does she know what it's like being a man? If she wants to be a man, just watch my videos. Just watch my videos. Like the Kyo saying she don't like that manly talk. She means she wants the feminine talk. But no, truly she wants the manly talk. That's why she's here. You think if I was doing the feminine talk, she would be here? No, she likes the man talk. So that's why I'm doing the man talk, because I'm a man. I'm not a woman. And those of you that are simps, I want you to see exactly what is happening. When they sit on TV and try to glorify these things, they are setting a trap for you. This is the best way to send you to the broke house. And some of these young guys, you look at yourself as if you would never amount to anything. Guys, listen to me. Never ever underestimate yourself. Never underestimate your abilities. Don't just say, "Oh, right now I'm broke. I'm 20 or something." Guys, things are gonna change. You're not gonna remain like that forever. But you see, if you only look at your circumstances during that time, and you make the mistake of creating all these babies, and eventually you got yourself together and understand what is happening, all that future earnings, guess what? All the mistakes you've committed will all go towards that. And by then, it will be too late. So don't even play with the idea of getting yourself caught up in this. I mean, these women, they're going to tell you, oh, it's equal. Look, none of us are equal. I don't think I'm equal to anyone. I don't think so. Some people might go and interpret it another way, just like other people are not, just like I'm not equal to other people. We are all different, we are all different people. But you see, when they throw the word equality, that's what, throws you off. Like they would say 50-50. That's not even real. It's just a slogan. It's not real.
So definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Right. So you said it's too much pressure. Like people used to get like pregnant back in the day before birth control. They just have a shotgun wedding and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the end of it.
The problem is that cat is out the bag now, right? So in the past, in a much more traditional and a much more religious society, the answer to a premarital pregnancy, simple answer, get married. And that's still a good answer for a lot of people as far as I'm concerned. However, with the way that marriage has changed, there have been too many changes to then go, okay, let's ban birth control now.
Yeah.
And you've already let all these other cats out the bag. To me, that's just chaos. I don't see the upside.
I just want to see what happens.
Yeah,
I feel like girls would make better decisions if there was a consequence.
I don't.
See, MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. He said, preach. I used to be very poor as a student. Having a baby mama drama helped me focus and become successful. Exactly. Oh, look at the Kia. She's doing her crazy talk again as usual. She's like, So what it seems you are saying is that the man doesn't take any responsibility for their actions. No, that's not what I'm saying. You've heard me say there is consequences for men if they cross that line. Trust me. No, I will never advocate for that because that's unrealistic. And then she goes on to say, men like you are very insecure. That's why you blame women for everything. I do not blame women or anyone. Nor am I insecure. The cure. Thank you.
I think you just get a huge spike in abortions.
Yeah.
I think you'd get a gigantic spike in
No,
abortions.
we should ban that too. Let's ban both.
Okay, well then that's different. I'm much more in favor of banning that one. By the way,
I say ban it all.
I don't think that. I think that because that out would still exist. So what would realistically happen is people would still just go around and
prosecute
have their sex or whatever. Because this is
prosecute them.
Lightheaded.
Send them to jail.
Oh man, I thought I was conservative. Pearl's like 50 lashes. Public square.
I wouldn't do lashes. I wouldn't.
Look, guys, even though they are laughing and lightening it, I'm just telling you. If you find yourself in this family court, ask some of the guys that went through the family courts. They'll tell you stories. Because the moment you get there, you will find out the people that were, because it's government, they're supposed to be neutral, right? You would find out they are against you because they make it seem like they're helping the woman, but they really don't care. You see, they are making money off of this child support system as well. So they have the power, the money to enforce it. So when you get there, they will be against you because you losing is what brings money to them. So you, the individual, it is up to you. See, many people think you should cry or run away from the system. No, that's not what you do. You take individual responsibility, read the system, and beat it. You can beat the system. Okay? All this talk, all this equality talk, if you don't ever want to hear this, do not get involved with this type of women. Period. Because that's what will happen. They are telling you exactly who they are, how they think. So some guys, you delude yourself thinking, oh no, she's going to change. Have you seen most of these simps around? Man, some of these simps, you would see a guy, I have been noticing, you will see the guy was masculine at one point, outgoing. Pretty soon he gets married or get involved with some Jezebel. Pretty soon his life starts going down the hill. And the average marriage, it lasts like 2 years in the United States, according to stats. And I would think that's well within reality, because I remember there were these people who I went to this guy. He was throwing a party, wedding, barbecue. I went to it, and then I swear it seems like few months later or a year, the guy was having another barbecue. So I thought they were celebrating their 1 year type anniversary, and these are African people. No, it's barbecue, with the new wife. He already divorced. The other marriage ended, and then he picked up another one. So this barbecue, they were having it in the same location. And guess who showed up again? Exactly. I showed up for the barbecue. Why wouldn't I? You see? I showed up to bless the meat for them, you see? Hey, they want to throw a party, I'll show up. I'm not gonna lie, the barbecue was good though. It was really good. MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. He said, Afridamus, the state government gets a part of child support payments. Yeah, they get for single mothers. This is absolutely true. I think they get like some percentage from it. So that's why they, make it accessible and make it seem like they are helping the woman. But in reality, the woman, it seems like in her head, she thinks she's winning, but she's not, because the government is helping her create animosity between her and her child's father. Now, because she hates the dude, she uses the child, as a weapon against the father, and that destroys the relationship. That's why I said 3 people lose out. The only person that wins is the government. That's it.
Do lashes. I would no. Let's not misquote. I would not do lashes. I would do jail time.
Put them in the stocks, with the head in their hands, people throwing tomatoes.
I do get what you mean by what you're saying. Yeah. I think there has to be consequences. I think women, I made a comment the other day on this post, and I got a lot of backlash about, I don't think it's difficult to not get pregnant.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I've never found it difficult to not get pregnant. I've never been pregnant because I've taken my birth control.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that in an ideal world, birth control wouldn't need to exist. Abortions wouldn't need to exist. I am pro-abortion, but point being, we're not in an ideal world. We're in a society of people that have free will, self-determinations, their own environments. They will never conform to those things. It will not stop it happening. People want to have sex all the time.
Let's try.
You've got a bunch of horny people in this world, and they're not going to stop fucking because abortion and the like is banned.
Like I feel like when people, like Thomas Sowell always talks about it, like when people face the consequences of their decisions, they make better decisions.
Yeah, generally speaking, but as we can see, this is just often not the case, though, right? As we were talking about people having, dozens and
exactly
dozens of children.
Yeah, but a lot of times they're in.
Sam Seal said, "Was the barbecue? Was there barbecue in goat? You know what? No, actually, it was lamb. It was lamb." And MS Delta, thank you again for another super chat. He said, with all the freedom of feminism, then why many studies show modern women are more unhappy and depressed? Exactly. This is why they, engage in this type of useless arguments, because they are trying to pretend. They are pretending to be happy, but they are not. Let me thank these people for the super chat, MS Delta and Sam Seal. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Incentivized to do so.
Yeah.
Because Nick Cannon, all those girls are taken care of.
Yeah. Of
so,
course.
So it's not like they didn't get a consequence. They got a payout.
Yeah.
People are generally going to do what they're incentivized to do, and I think one of the big problems we have in modern Western society.
Zuby is right. I'm going to fast forward to here because I have some callers here. I want you guys to hear this part, also.
So he changed the laws to say that he can get married again. So actually, it's always men. Men are the problem. It's not a woman.
So she's a feminist. She's gonna go straight to saying the men are the problem. So let's allow her to lay it out. So she's clearly, as you can see, like she believes in blaming people for misogyny, even though she's out here, showing her, her boobs and all that, I mean, this is one of, if anything, I think men should be allowed to file cases against some people like her. Seriously, because subjecting men to this type of site should be forbidden. But I think she's second generation. So that's why I was asking, is second generation Africans like Nigerians, Ghanaians who are born and raised in the West, not all, but most, would they make good relationships like with an African person? Would they? I have some people in the back. People, just hang tight. I will bring you guys in a second because I want you guys to see this part.
What do you keep their legs closed? What do you got a woman?
Oh, come on.
No,
come on.
they can't.
Okay. I just went to Carnival to do interviews.
Yeah.
You're telling me that men are the problem when these women are walking around in thongs in public?
Oh, that's okay. This is a whole different spectrum.
What do you mean that's a whole different spectrum?
So now you're not supposed to look sexy?
I mean,
you can look sexy and keep it classy.
Like, there's I think there's a difference between like, a little leg, a little cleavage, and like, I don't know, a thong.
So it's your fault that you had sex with you because you were wearing a thong? I don't understand.
So do you guys see how she's playing naive, right? That's the feminism. So it's like, okay, you are free, for instance, to enter the lion's cage. You're free to do that. But does it make sense to do it? Why open yourself to that type of danger? So that's the point they're trying to make to her. But I don't think it's resonating with her.
I'm saying that women are in control of sex, men are in control of relationships.
Yeah. They're both in control of both.
No,
a man is in control of sex too. You can decide. You know what? I don't want to have sex with you.
I think Pearl is talking about the ultimate decision, right? That ultimately, it's God forbid, freaking grape. Ultimately, the women are the gatekeepers of sex.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why. If you want to see this is why like gay dudes just have way higher numbers of sexual because females not involved.
In Australia, there's a small group of adults who are.
We have Kidola. Kidola, welcome to the show. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Kidola, thank you again. Thank you. Kidola, are you watching this video as I break it down?
Yep.
So you see, like the question I'm asking, because you see, like the woman I was showing, will allow her to speak more. But are you surprised to hear the way these women think, most of them? Or is within, what you expected?
You see, when you listen to, because I've been watching when you listen to actually the way they were discussing their things and everything, you can see that the white people are very kind of a little bit conscious,
Right, right.
They're watching their mouth, they watch what they say. The black people are like opening their mouths so very loud.
But Kidola, the funny thing, I want you to know their background. They are second generation Nigerian. The one that this one here, the one that is
tell people they now identify as children and have a mission of she. Think about this card depth to understand objective and where they can find you.
So this two here.
Yeah,
but this other one didn't say much, but this one, she's definitely a super feminist.
Let me just tell you the truth.
Go ahead.
Africans, especially Nigerians, they're very good in copying and accepting the type of culture in time, especially when they're no longer in the shores of Nigeria or when they left Nigeria. You're right. Yeah. Nigerians have become something else. You can hear a Nigerian guy having a very strong British accent. You understand? And it's kind of like, it's ugly. You understand? Check the Chinese. Check the Indians. The Indians will always stick to their culture and pass those culture to their, to their children.
Right.
If you dress properly, they will have the way they behave. You understand? But it's wonderful. What's surprising that the Africans, when they go over there, they want to be more British or more American than the real ones.
Yeah, like they would say they are not. So that's why I was saying they've become everything else. And I ask, will most of them make a good partner with, like her, for instance, let's say, do you think she would be able to find a Nigerian husband? Like, I'm not saying just anybody, just somebody with, common sense that is cultured and respectable.
In Nigeria, if they really want, if they come to Nigeria to look for husband, it will not last. Because Nigerian guys are more differently those that live in Nigeria, we that live in Nigeria, right? With your accent, look, with your accent, they might be a little bit curious. You understand? But when you want to show, really, because a relationship is not about accent. Then when you start bringing some kind of weird culture to this guy that is not used to, or you want to be in control, it will knock you out. That's what I'm telling you now, that most of them that live in UK or America to go to Nigeria to look for men, inside 100, 98 will never succeed getting anyone. They might date, they might be together, but normally it don't last because of the cultural differences. And Nigeria say that, okay, you are from Nigeria, but why you have this kind of weird type of behavior and everything? In Nigeria, a man is a man, a woman is a woman.
Right.
You must have to know your place.
So you think the way this woman here, her idea, the way she's talking, definitely not gonna fly in Nigeria.
A Nigerian man will prefer the white woman more because it's a little bit careful,
more feminine. Like the white woman. You see how this other. That's why I'm surprised by like how, like how did their thought process, become even. You would think it's white person who would think like that, but it's different.
Because that's that fake what's called black British came. That black British, it kind of like fun because they all came from the different places. They're from Jamaica, Ghana, and everything. What is black British? They're not like black British. Have you ever heard in India person who say, "Oh, I'm Indian British"? No, because the next there will be Mumbai, or a Chinese man will go to Shanghai. So the problem with Africans, let me say, especially Nigerians, they can really copyright these people and have their accent. Then when they move with them in Nigeria for vacation, you can see the way they display it very arrogantly. It doesn't look. Let me use the word cute anymore. You understand?
So you agree? Like my description of like the arrogance. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're perfectly right. We see them in Nigeria here. You understand me? And when the time is when they're about going towards 30, they start coming back home to start looking for Nigerian men who will marry them. They start even selecting. And these Nigerian guys who are hot, who are like big shot, they're not going to settle for a girl with British accent. They will settle for Tunde, Femi, and others that went to school in Lagos that really know the culture. You understand? They know, because they don't need your money. Even let's assume they mistakenly date or marry to a guy they think, they will help them or bring them to London. That marriage will not last up to 5 years. After everything, these guys will disappear because they're not ready to settle to somebody who wants to control them and those kind of nonsense. So Nigerians there is a problem if not even those that even move 5 years out of Nigeria, they start having this kind of funny kind of accent. They start having this kind of way they want to talk to you. They start having when you talk to them, they want to start behaving in the way you think. To us, it's very, very strange. Very, very strange.
This is it's because it hit me like I was thinking about it and I watched how I've seen several videos where if whether it's in America or the UK, I noticed like the first generation or second generation Nigerian, first generation, they literally still have their relatives there, but they distance themselves far away from Nigeria. Like any African culture, they just think they're British or something. So I'm like, okay, am I the only one observing this? But to me, that's why I said, what is it? I don't know if they're British or because the white people themselves don't act like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That why must you want to be with a fake one when you can really
get the real deal?
The real deal that'll be even more conscious. More, who try to learn. Try to learn your culture and follow that line. Now, come and have a fake one who's trying to pretend to be British. You want to do everything to be British. Then when you talk to her, you say, "Oh, I'm a British." You understand me? You know what I'm saying? This is nonsense. You understand? Then you forget about your culture. Look at the Indians. The Indians will hold on to their culture. The Chinese hold on to their culture. But when these Africans, let's say Nigeria, that's why you see a lot of baby mamas. Nigerian baby mama full in UK. A lot of Nigerian baby mama.
There's a lot. I wouldn't be surprised the way she's acting. That Sam Seal said Nigeria has the highest percentage of paternity fraud. Interesting. Yeah, I'll do a show on that. Thank you, Sam Seals.
Yeah, because these people, even when some of these Nigeria girls are like doing this BB Nigeria and everyone want to copyright it, reality will hit you in Nigeria, because at the end of the day, look, if you fetch your asset in Nigeria, right, you're not coming to the real reality. You'll be there for 40 years. No, there's no man going to marry you.
Wow.
That's why you see most of these Nollywood actresses have no men. They are like a shower in Nigeria here. You understand me? So what I'm trying to say is reality will hit you. That when a Nigerian man want to marry a wife, not a fake person who just adopt on that person's culture, that you want to you want to bring in that kind of culture into his own home.
Well, hopefully they can hear this conversation and wake up. And you see, the cure is, our parents are from Sierra Leone. I'm standing corrected here. The cure said, Afridamus, I have been married for 22 years, but definitely not to an African. So you see, the cure proved me to be right. But let's allow Fuller Man in as well. Thank you, Kidola. Just hang tight. Fuller Man, thank you. Welcome to the show.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Fuller Man, what do you want to add onto this? This single motherhood. Whose fault is it? Is it the men or the women?
It's two parties. Number one, we made it too easy to have access to us, and number two, they made it too easy to have access to them, because of the simple fact that like it's the 80-20 rule, where like they're with Pookie and Ray Ray, and then guys who maybe have good intentions for them, they pass up, and then after that they blame the good guys for the past mistakes that they made. So it's it comes really full circle back to them, basically. That's how it operates.
Like Fuller Man, if you look at it, like for instance, these women here, they're like first generation Africans in the UK.
Yeah.
So are you surprised by the feminist, thought process? Like, did you see that coming? You're not shocked at all?
Not at all, because if you, for example, use Clubhouse, you'll hear all kinds of things from first generation Africans, and even me. Like I see the change with my family who lives in Portugal, and they tell me all the time that, hey, these Angolans, these Cape Verdeans, these even people from where I come from, these Bissauans are out of pocket right now, buying into this the feminist super soldier serum. And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of these women are I guess you can say, like, very masculine, and that's very like unattractive, so like that's why men are like opting to like hold out and just say, you know what, I'm just going to marry back home, or even like marry in a place where like the women are just like more traditional and more
but why do you think they are so overly aggressive?
Because they've been told, like they've been told they can do these things. They've been told, like, hey, like even in the U.S. Army, like they've been told that, like, oh, you can do just as much as a man can in the U.S. Army or any kind of military. And so when they've been told this, when they've been told they're smarter than men, when they've been told they're stronger than men, when they've been told that that they do everything better than men, and just men ain't ish and things like that. That's why they take on these characteristics. You know what I mean? And like if a man decides to be a man, if a man puts his foot down and things like that, if a man actually tells the truth, he's labeled as a misogynist, he gets canceled. You know what I mean? So this is why they take on these personality traits. And another reason why they take on these personality traits is because they they sleep with a lot of men too. So like they take on that energy. That's why they have deep voices. That's why they have mustaches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I mean, it's like I don't know why a woman would ever want to be like a man. To be honest, like it makes absolutely no sense. But let's allow Judah also to come in. Judah, welcome to the show. Judah, what do you want to add on to this? Judah, what do you think about what you're hearing?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh yeah. What is actually happening is I think it's a system that is behind the happenings, right? You cannot just see what women are doing, but you want to see the system where they are. In America, we know that everybody is busy, and
not everyone.
Right, not everyone. I mean, like if you
well,
have
I mean, it's supposed to be right.
Right. What I'm saying is, if you have a wife at home, maybe she is also working, right, and you are also working. So at the end of the day, you might have women that are making more money than their men, so they feel like them getting married might instead cause them more problems than instead staying single. So that's why most of them, like say for instance, you have a woman like Oprah. Oprah got so much money in such a way that she feels like instead of her getting married, she could just have guys come in and or have boyfriends and stuff. So this is the thing.
Oprah has several boyfriends.
No, I didn't just say that, but I mean, she's not married. She's not married, as I know.
Last I checked. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So what I'm saying is, as compared to Africa, you might have in an African home, you might have people getting married because there's that culture of living together for better and for worse. In America, you cannot hold a woman down because you don't have money and you expect her to be with you, because now in America it's all about money. If you don't have money, you can't get a wife. That's just what it is. Most women
but again, I don't think that's what it is. How do you explain, the people, the multi-millionaires that are, if you look, it's all over. It's not about, I don't think necessarily that's what it is.
Look, let me tell you something.
Even Tom Brady.
Let me finish. There's a difference between a black woman and a white woman in America. That's just
what is the difference?
The difference is a white woman can take you for who you are and grow you up. A black woman doesn't see that. A black woman is just there to, like, what you got now at that point in time.
So you're saying the white women are more supportive and understanding?
Yeah, black women doesn't see the future. They only see what you have at that point in time. A white woman can actually say, okay, we can cope with this and grow together. A black woman doesn't see that. So most of the time, they tend to be, want to stay on their own. And most of the time, they also benefit from what they get from the government. If a woman have kids with different men, they end up getting so many child support. And instead of them staying together with one person, they instead make more money from the government. So that's where, most of the time they want to stay independent and have just kids with different men. That's just what it is.
But you see, so so Jude, so these women here, the behavior, you would definitely be with a white woman before you be with them, right?
Let's see. Most Africans that come to America, most of them prefer white women to black Americans. I've seen more Africans getting married to white women than they get married to black women, because what? One, black women have an attitude problem. They can disrespect an African culture no matter what. A white woman can cope with an African culture. They can cope with a man. A black woman doesn't take shit for it. Doesn't take nonsense.
But what about the ones that are like them here, second generation? Their parents are African. They are more, from that culture. I would think their parents taught them. They know. So what is the issue there?
This is the thing, right? Most women, especially when they go to school, they expect more from a man. And if they go to school,
educated, stay away from educated women.
Right. So if you're a man and you don't have standard of education and you want to date a black woman, you better don't stay from the ones that have gone to school more than you do, because you're always going to stay at the bottom. It's just what it is. Stay
Wow.
from the
So
ones that have so much.
they are oppressors. They are the black man's oppressor.
Exactly. So stay from the ones that have gone to school and they think they are more than what you are. That's just what it is. And
Yeah.
especially the Africans that come here and you say second generation, right? That's just what it is.
The
When
ones
they go
that
to
are
school,
born here, yeah.
right. When they go to school, they mingle with so many people. They mingle with black people. They tell them, oh, this is going on. They mingle with white. So from that mingle, when you mingle with other people, you kind of learn different things. And by the time you grow up, that mentality of you being African is being played out. You feel like you're African. You feel like
But
you're African American.
why do you think they become ashamed of being African?
Of course. Even when I was in college, at that time I couldn't say I was African. I told them I was Caribbean.
Why is that? You tell them you're what?
I was Caribbean because
Caribbean from where?
From Jamaica. That's just what it is. When I was in
Did you do the Jamaican accent?
No, I didn't do it, but sometimes they couldn't tell, because in Michigan you couldn't find a lot of black people that could actually tell if you're Jamaican or not.
I met a guy from Zimbabwe who also tried to tell, years ago, this around early 2000s. I know these Africans they would say they are from Jamaica or something, but I've always maintained African. Always.
But when I say that, they say, but what's your accent? I say, right, my parents came from Haiti because I had a French accent, so I could actually speak French. But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. When you say you were African,
did you feel bad?
Right, because there was one time there was a strike that happened in school, right? Black students in our school rose up and said there was some sign of racism in school. So all the blacks came out, but there were certain blacks that didn't come out, and they were Africans. So this lady got mad, and it went around the school that Africans don't support Black Americans. And it was from that day in college where the organization, they used to have one black organization in college, but it split where the Africans later have their own organization. So it was an African organization and it was black organization.
So how was the behavior of the African females, the African girls?
Right, because the African girl came from Senegal, so she didn't know. She was a transfer student.
So she doesn't know English.
So she didn't know the culture. She didn't know what it was. But she was roommate to this African American, so she didn't come out to revolt in school like other blacks do. So her name went around college that blacks, Africans, or people don't support other blacks. So it was some kind of a problem in college. But this is the thing. It's gonna be hard for blacks, Americans to accept that Africans are not being prejudiced in school. It's just kind of changing right now. And most of the time, most blacks in Africa that came here, they don't want to tell people they are Africans. So they want to stay on that same page.
Jude, you're making a good point here, because some of these people want to deflect. But what you're saying, okay, because if the Africans are claiming, they are even ashamed of being themselves, right? So the young Africans or their kids, some of these people, they see that, and they see even these people cannot be proud of who they are. So you can't blame them for copying.
Exactly. You see somebody like Chaotic Truth, right? He's Nigerian, but he still feels like he's American, even though he was born here. Because everything white, if you speak like white, they look at you superior. Even in Africa, we have that. You see a white person, you are all happy. But when you see, when they say a black person, you like, that's why you see most people they like white stuff. You want to go to a white restaurant, you want to be like them. That's the same things that is going on up here. But they won't tell you, oh, I'm doing this. But it's in the mindset. That's just what it is. They are not going to tell you, oh, I'm doing this, but the mindset tells you what they are.
Yeah, exactly. People think, they have to say it out loud. No, it's about what is being displayed. But actually, Chaotic, I saw him in the chat. Chaotic, hit the link and come on in. You be a a good representative here today. Thank you. Let's hear this. I want you guys to say something on this point here. Hear this part.
I really like today. I agree with.
No, go ahead, Kidola.
Today, I really agree with Jude, which is true. You understand? Because that's why you see that's what I said before, that the Africans who are there want to be even more than the other ones, and with their children also copy that, and we Nigerians can easily see that.
Okay, thank you. Let me play this real quick so you guys can add on to it real quick. Hold on.
Their own, really. Like, everyone has their own opinion. That's all I can say. We agree to disagree, really. You can find me on Instagram and on YouTube. It is Christabel. So it.is.
That we dislike, like the sort of new red pill stuff, and they end up. A woman can have that position and want to roll and even want to be the breadwinner and so on and so forth, individually, and they're just painting with very broad strokes.
But I think it's always been like that. Like, even if you look into the biblical term, like, a woman was not allowed to be a pastor. A woman has to be silent in the church. I think it's always been where a woman is supposed to be subordinate. And this is what's happening. These comments are just showing society's reaction to women.
Helpmate, like,
sorry?
Helpmate in the Bible.
So this woman, you would hear stuff like this. She wants to challenge, like the Bible itself, like God himself. She said, how come the woman is not, being in the church? Now they have these female pastors. God, I'm not gonna go there to listen to them, or having a female imam. They can do that if they want to. We all are seeing how people that are doing that, how the place is going, going to hell in a handbasket. So she is trying to force herself as a leader. Some people have this ambition, but instead of channeling that, she's going to try to make it seem like it's because the Bible said this, or woman and man thing. It's always versus.
Well,
so there's never a unity.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. The thing is about these super soldiers is that they think there's some kind of patriarchy in the West. They're like, oh, down with the patriarchy. They always bring up that point, and there isn't a patriarchy because, they're so deluded. They don't realize how good they have it. Number one in suicides, men. Number one in unemployment, men. Number one in college dropout, men. Number one in high school dropout, men. Number one in prison, men.
Number one getting killed, men.
Men. Number one going to war, men. Number one who's not winning in divorce court, men. They don't realize how good they have it, but they still like try to present these like bizarre cases because it makes them feel a certain type of way because of the mistakes they made in the past. Because
she's just delusional. But let's hear where she's going with this real quick.
Yeah,
but helpmate.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, why is she this little helper? Like, she's just supposed to be in the background. Why can't she lead? Why can't she do that? I think
again, to my point, a woman can. A woman can. The point is that is traditionally a masculine role, and this often comes down to what both each gender is attracted to. As I said before, a woman can have that position and want to roll and even want to be the breadwinner and so on and so forth, and she can find a guy who will be happy with that and will be happy to assume that position. I'm just saying that's going to be a more feminized man.
I mean, I don't agree with that personally.
That's just the reality of it, because you're going to get the complementary aspect. So if a man is very, very masculine in a traditional sense, he's likely to attract and be compatible with a very, very feminine woman. If a woman is coming in playing more the traditional masculine role, then a man who wants to also play that traditional masculine, they're going to clash. They're not going to get on well with each other.
And I think, to me, that's always been the problem, because I'm a leader. Like,
did you guys hear that? So this woman is always going to clash with it. So she thinks she is a leader. Who would want to be led by this woman? You would run into a lot of women like her who really think that, they want to dominate you as a man. And when you assume the role because there are men who are, beta sims. This woman beat them down. They think the woman is happy, if you are doing everything she's saying. So she wants to rule men. She wants you to come and be a man, but also be in charge of you. Those two are not gonna go. The man is going to either be the man or the woman.
Oh,
Like
I'll
you,
give you.
you pick.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example real quick. There was this Vallejo woman who thought that like joining the army, she would like just be, you know what I mean? She thought she would just be hot stuff, you know, she thought she would be like a leader and stuff like that. And then when the Ukraine situation happened, uh, you know, and there was a chance that she may have to go to Ukraine, she started boo-hooing and started crying, saying, I don't want to
Why?
go. I don't want to go. You know, this is not what I signed up for, and things like that. So it's a case of like wanting to have your cake and eat it too. Like that's the situation. But you know, I talk to my Chechen friends who are actually in Ukraine right now, and there's none of that. You know, there's no because they're men. You know, so there's none of that crying or anything like that. It's get suited and booted and get ready to go. There is no talking. But when we're heard, there was all this boohooing, crying, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And it's
because
like, okay, I just want to say one thing, and it's like if you want to live out vicariously through someone, just watch G.I. Jane and sit down.
oh yeah, that's a good one. Like it's amazing how this woman is even sitting there. Everything she hates men, but she's acting like a man. Who would want her to be your girlfriend, wife, whatever? It's like you're talking to one of your, homies or something. Because she thinks this is what empowers her, when in fact, that is what is causing her unhappiness that she is facing, that she's dealing with.
I like to lead in a relationship,
Then
but
only,
I also like my man to lead.
No, it won't. I'm just saying
No.
that won't
But
work.
what I'm trying to say exactly,
That won't work.
because people keep saying it's not going to work.
It
So
won't.
men have
No,
it
it won't.
in their head that no, it can't work.
not-
I can't let it lead.
Let me tell you something. It's not
real.
just.
So in her mind, it's just men that have it in their head that it's not gonna work. So me not wanting to act like a woman, because I'm not one, that's just in my head. That is not natural at all. Just like a woman, not wanting to be a man. It's not about want or not. It's who you are. What is wrong with playing your role? This woman really hates being a woman, and you would find that with lots and lots of feminists. It's like they have this disdain for women, and every time they are describing the weakness, you notice they are trying to pretend like they're ascribing that to somebody saying it, but they are the ones looking at women as attaching weakness to it, instead of seeing it as it's not a competition. A woman's nature is a woman and a man is a man. In a balanced society, that's how it is. But she is definitely envious of men, very envious. I mean, she wants to be a man so bad.
Well, I want to tell you something that happened actually. You know, a lot of these super soldiers, the thing is they want the so-called power that a man has, but none of the responsibility that the man has. And I'm gonna tell you, there was this one woman, I think she pretended to be a man for 2 years or something. Like she went undercover and
Yeah,
pretend to be a man for 2 years. She couldn't take it, and she did a assisted suicide. She couldn't take it.
yeah, because
Yep.
it's like, um, I don't think, it's really weird, like, to try to go against your own nature. And in the West, that's what is promoted. Let's hear her a little bit here. Let's allow Kidola to chime in on that.
It's not just in our head, it's in our biological wiring. It's in our instinct. So just like you are do you prefer taller men?
To be honest, as long as you're tall, as long
taller
as you're
than you.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're taller than me, yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Okay, right. So just like that's hard.
So you see, they're not gonna want to answer it. All of them, they want a guy who's 6 foot tall, plus got lots of money. So you see, guys who are shorter and don't have money, you don't see them get to go and complain and cry about, oh man, how come you don't like shorter guys, or like fat guys? The woman can say the guy is fat, bald, ugly, whatever. But you don't see these guys crying, saying, oh, that's misogynistic. So pretty much the truth is that they want to dominate men. But the only way they want to dominate you is like they keep giving you choices for you to go against your own nature. For you to go against your own nature. Women have no problem telling you you're broke. And you don't see those broke guys. Man, I can't even imagine some guy coming to me telling me about how so women don't want to be with him because he's broke. I'll be like, well, how are you gonna solve that problem? You see, generally, if a guy says that to other guys, they would laugh at the guy. They would, if the guy is about game, he would probably go shopping his game. He can either enter his way there through his tongue lip service, or he's gonna go add some more weight to his game. That's just how it is. You see, that's just how it is. Men have to deal with it. Men have to deal with it. You will have to figure it out. But imagine you give your choices, your option. Oh, you're a misogynist. You hate women. No, I just told you the kind of women I'm into. If that doesn't match them, then you are a hater. So
well,
it's silly.
I want to add on to that real quick. Okay, I want to just really quick add on to it. Because right now, even I'm serving a TikTok ban because the thing is, someone was like this one Western super soldier. She was like, "Here's what you can tell about a man based on his height," and so I responded back, "What can you tell about a woman based on her weight?" And that's when I got banned because it's the double standards. It's like we're not allowed to have standards. If we are taking care of our bottom line, and if we're doing what we're supposed to do, we're not allowed to have standards. We're quote unquote body shaming, misogynistic, down with the patriarchy. But they're allowed to say anything and everything they want about us.
Well, yeah, thank you, man. This is funny. Hey, Kidola, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Kidola, somebody is mocking your brother, your Nigerian brother, Chaotic. He's a chaotic. It's a dollar store FBA, like not even a $5 FBA. It's a dollar store. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Chaotic is a guy that went. Chaotic is, I think, he's born in the United States.
Yes, I know.
And I think Chaotic was very ashamed of his roots, Africa. So he just claimed the Black America. I want to be Black America by all means, but the way he was forcing it, the real Black American is not one of them. But you want to accept me, Black America, accept me, but it's not real. So Jude was right. The problem with this, the problem with this kind of, the problem with Black people naturally in this Western world, both England or UK, they have what called boastful thought. They are very boastful. But their boastful doesn't carry weight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They have no weight in their boastful. She said, I want to be a leader. Then just give that lady, just give her maybe 30, when she's 30, 35, she will be the one running after a guy say, oh, please just accept me. Oh, please just accept me. You start. So men have choices. No matter 50, 40, 60, they can choose any woman they want. You understand?
That's right.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this. Black people, well, I mean black, just generally black, have a problem of really not really accepting who they are really. They want to be more to the other side. If you ask a white man or a white woman, have you ever seen, if a white man would prefer an African woman, he would tell you that's the real original one.
Right.
You know, just ask a white
man.
they
go for when they go for African, they go for the dark one, not the skin bleach.
They will tell you, a white man will tell you, I want you.
Or the ones that wear, fake hair, they go for the natural hair.
They will tell you they want a real African woman. You understand?
Yeah.
Then once I was having a saying. So I look at this white guy. He was very tense. I asked, are you always in the sun? And they said, no. He said, yeah, Nigeria is so hot. I said, but you look tense always. It's about I said, chai, this guy just enjoy a lot of good jollof rice and everything. Eating good. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is this, that Africans always want to abandon who they are. And white people will like who you are and your culture. You understand? That will even make them more curious to know who you are. They will respect that. But that's why you were talking about Nigerians. Yeah, Nigeria is a very, very big problem in that aspect. You understand me? They even call police on their husband. I have a friend in America. He's always in there. He's always been locked up by his wife.
And she's Nigerian. I know even some of the Africans, even from my own country, some of the guys who have that's what I'm saying, because when I say the second generation, maybe they copied it from their parents, because some of these African women, they come here, because you can't really say it's always been in them. They become worse than the people that are even here. You're even, you're better off. To me, another question I would ask, with the African here would be more compatible with the FBA than even the African.
Yes, yeah, because in a way, an African might be born there or African that moved towards maybe 10 years in America. Nah. The Black Americans have their own type of lifestyle that the Africans should not be able to cope with. With the Africans want to copyright the white people, that's just the problem. And they really don't know the rules what these white people are following. You understand? You know what I'm saying? So the white people don't shout on their lungs and start becoming boastful when they know they cannot carry out the weight what they're talking about. White people are always very careful when they talk. They're always very careful what they're saying. You understand? They will throw you an opinion. They will ask you what to know your opinion. They will come in a way in the back to know how you feel. You understand? But African woman, black woman like to scream in his wrongs, want to talk tough. Why is just
she's a leader. She wants to be a leader.
They can't lead nothing. If you come to Nigeria December, you see a lot of British girls. You see a lot of Black American girls in Nigeria. This Nigerian diasporas. They're looking for men. They're looking for. At first, they will come for a big shot. Looking for a big shot with these big guys that have money. When that one starts failing them, then they start looking for a little bit average one that still have some game going on. When that one start failing them, then they become more confused. You see, they're getting pissed. Yeah, I want to enjoy my life and everything, but the asset is not. Might be just a girl just want to use them. Though that was easy. You understand? So the truth of the matter is, African will suffer a lot for them not standing who they look. I said this thing before. When you abandon who you are as your own culture, you become an empty man. You understand? You become an empty person. Because who are you? You are nobody. You just stand as nobody. You become empty. Who you are is your culture. It's your food. It's what you're eating. You understand me? It's the way you see the world view. That's what I've always said. Be who you are.
It's wild, it's wild to see it. But MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. He said as FBA, leave chaotic alone. He's cool. He said, don't push crazy Africans onto FBA. Let me thank him for the super chats here.
And don't get me wrong. If you're an African, be born in Africa, be born in Africa, to a certain extent, if you live in the Western world for so long, you become more depressed. You know why? Because aging in Western world, you will lose your value.
Right.
Aging in Africa will increase your value. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is this. Then all this is start coming with depression. It depends where you stay in the Western world. The cold will start attacking you. Your adventure mind will be decreasing.
Yeah.
And this will start having a mentally and psychological effect on you. You understand? So that's why you always try to hold to your culture, try to come back home, try to know who you are, because the Black Americans have been there for 600 years. You can see they're still even struggling, totally still struggling to even accept where they are. They're struggling a lot. That's why you see them having this conflict, confusion, they're fighting other people. Because really, if you ask them, they really like what that was. Africans can never be Black America. Chaotic can never be Black America because it does not have their feelings. It does not. Chaotic grew up in an African home whereby the mother cook okra soup and eba and all these things.
And egusi.
Egusi. Then when the dad started in the school, the American teacher started teaching him about other things. So chaotic have two faces. You understand me? So as for today, what chaotic is projected now, chaotic is a Black America. And sorry, the real Black Americans will know who you are.
Let's see.
Hardwired in you biologically. Even if you wanted to force yourself to try to be more attracted to men shorter than you, and you can't biologically, it's the same as a man in wanting to play a certain role in a relationship and to be a leader to an extent. It's hardwired in us. It's not just a societal opinion or a construct.
But as soon as you don't allow me to have certain control of certain aspects in the relationship, I'm already turned off anyway. I could be so attracted to you, and as soon as you're like, I've got to control the finances, I've got to do this, I'm like, know what, boy, bye. I'm leaving.
I feel like you just want the best of everything.
No,
you just want. Why can't I have? Okay, why?
She's trying to caricature this. Like, what guy? If you are entering this kind of conversation with a guy, you and that guy, you guys are still very immature. Why is that even the conversation? But probably this is what is going on in her head. You guys remember she said she wants to be in control. So this is just her idea. Like, why would you be sitting there, talking like that? Any guy that would talk like that is obviously immature. But I think the way she sounds, her having, having penis envy, I think that's her own thought process. I've met many feminists who think just this way. They really think this is how men think. That's what they think. I don't know what kind of men they are running into, but that's what they really think. Let me see here. MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. He said, Kidola, what are you talking about? As Edos FBA, I ate plenty of okra cooked by mom. Afridamus, bring him in. Bring him to the cookout. Kidola, he said, bring you to the FBA cookout. I'll have to bring you next time, Kidola.
Why can't men have pure virgins?
Because men are having sex with women, so they can't be virgins.
I'm saying like women bring less to the table than ever. We're less pure. We're older when we get married, and so it's like you don't see Zuby on this panel saying like, why isn't everyone 22? and so it's like you just want everything.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep fighting for women's rights and minority rights. Y'all can hate me. People naturally hate me because I'm so against what society is.
No,
I do believe a woman can do it all.
I think it's because you're argumentative. I don't think it's because you're against what society is. I think the backlash you get is because you're argumentative and you interrupt.
No, that's got nothing to do with it.
I'll be real.
Can we not be insulting again? I do get quite annoyed when we do that.
I think you're actually a very compassionate person. but I think that compassion is sometimes blinding you to certain realities.
Zubi, how about you just say she's delusional? Let's just be, that's other word for compassionate. What is compassionate about her? Everything she claims to be against, that's what she is for. She is the one that wants to dominate men. She said it. So you know what she's suffering from? She's realizing that she cannot dominate men. That's what's making her angry. And she said, oh, I'm fighting for women's right. What right don't women have, in the UK? In fact, I've told you, I've laid out all the power that women have over men. But she's not satisfied because guess what? She wants to be a man. But just like Kidola said, when she hit her 30s, Lagos will be waiting. Okay? She will go visit Lagos and she would try to find her, a new guy. But with the way she talks, that's not gonna work.
Also just think you're young, right? And I'm not trying to be this patronizing person, right? But when as you get older, some of the things will, right? Even between the ages of 25 and 35, the way certain things that like my parents used to say or that I used to hear, the way some of it started like clicking, and I was like, oh, okay. Like that's why it was like that. Or, you just experience 10 more years of life and you interact with thousands and thousands of more people and you see, okay, that's why certain things are certain ways. It's not just because people are mean and nasty and want to like press down on women or
no, it's because
whatever.
Men don't want to accept that women, we can make our own money.
We know you can.
We can build. We don't need your money. It's
okay, why do you even want to get married? You said you want to get married. Why?
Because I love men. I actually like men.
But why get married?
But you know what? This is a point I've always been wanting to make. I've come to realize.
Just like many Western women, she's confused. She thinks, again, because she makes money, that should give her the power over men. So he's asking a good question. Okay, you say you make money, you don't need men because they would say that I'm independent. Why do you want to be with a man? She's like, I actually love men. So she's a basket case. She is delusional. You're going to run into this 1 minute they are quote unquote in love with you, another minute they are totally broken down. So she is, she would take you on an emotional roller coaster if any man follows her. Because hey, you gotta give it to her. She's laying it out, spelling it out that she is a controlling woman. That's what she wants to do.
She's not controlling nothing.
She wants to be. She wants to be.
Yeah, she want to be kind of controller. Not really.
Yeah.
You have to understand, in the Western world, I think black women more suffer in terms of having even a relationship. You understand? They are far more the lower part. They don't have the opportunity compared to like in Africa here, whereby yes, you have the opportunity to meet maybe inside 10, 9 might even be all blacks. And you see, Africans choose by character. You understand?
Right.
Not really by your money.
She thinks it's money. She really thinks, yeah.
Yeah, because with Africa might choose you by a character. You want to marry, you have you at home. And maybe through that marriage, you might be a multi-millionaire, but you still know your role as a woman. You understand? So the men will always remain who they are in Africa. But
that's funny. Jay Elegant said, all that attitude looking like an adjustable 4. I see another problem there because you're right. She really thinks she's a hot thing. But that is not resonating with the men because she's probably have friends who are super beautiful and she see how the men are, pampering them, going along. So that's making her mad and jealous because some of these women, they go through that.
Yeah, that you see, I was Afridamus, I was listening to one show. These are the Nigerians in America. If you see the way they sound, some of them look like single women in America, bitter and everything.
I'll have to find that. Is that I think I've seen that clip. Is it what is it called? Is it like this is hosted by like a Nigerian woman?
Yeah,
and they have several women, and some of them have like
the women,
the cow nose ring thing in their nose. I think I've seen that.
They're very bitter. They call men all kind of names and all kind of something. Then I just think reality will hit you for one day. The reality is you just making mouth over there. You understand? The truth of the matter is Nigerians in these areas, in this Western world, have become even more problem. That's what the war is not. It did start now. It started a long time ago. That's what the word Akata came in.
Okay, so now the internet is just showing it more.
Yeah, the internet is just showing it more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why the word called Akata came in, really. You understand me? Akata was not really being used. Nigerians never referred Akata to Black Americans. Akata would just be given to these Nigerians who were coming. They were so very arrogant. They behaved one kind, like the pit toilet they were going to before they left was no longer the pit toilet. You understand? So they started behaving anyhow. That's how the word Akata came in. We start calling them Akata, and Nigeria people started calling them Akata. Akata would never be referred to Black America. The Nigerians don't even do Black America. How can they refer Akata to Black America? It was the Nigerians.
The ones that come there.
Yeah, the Nigerians that came to United States, or the Nigerians that's how you refer the thing to, I think, to Black Americans. It was the Nigerians that be called Akata because they were behaving more like a little bit funny. So we say, why you left? Why you behaving like you don't know this culture anymore? So that's what I'm saying, that this cultural appropriation by Nigerians, this start now. Start about maybe 40 years ago. You understand? Maybe 40 years ago. If you come to Nigeria in December, you see the way they display themselves. The children be born. They have attitude. If you see them in the airport, they behave one kind and everything. And if you're lucky that your parents have some money in Nigeria, it might fit it to you. But if not, you just be like, okay, what's she really doing? Because really, it's a shame that Nigeria copy. That's what I say in England. If you're in England or you visit England, you see a lot of Nigerian single mothers, single women there. A lot.
Yeah, she's from the UK. Maybe that's why. Let me play a few seconds of her and then end it. 1 second.
Realization that men don't actually like women.
That's not true.
They just see us. No. All you see us is for sex.
No.
If you respected us, you would want to know.
Is this how I've come across in the past 3 hours?
No. I do think. I mean, that's why you're getting hate.
So she's claiming all men want women for is sex. She's not talking for all women. She's talking about herself. Maybe the only way the men want to listen to her is they hit her up for sex. That's it. Because that's why she's angry. I know, because
she's because at first that guy was acting like a very nice guy, the guy you can put inside home and serve him a tea and biscuit. So that was the guy was behaving like that. Now the guy started bringing who is he really? His true color. Then he become angry. That's why you see that most Nigerians, when they live long in America, they now become Pan-African. Pan-African
some of your brothers become Pan-Africanists.
Yeah, they become Pan-Africans because they're angry now. They start hating everybody. They don't say, this is oppressing me, that is not oppressing me. You know what I'm saying? So it changed. You can see the way she reacted. At first, she was very boastful. She was everything. That guy was very calm and everything. Then when the guy now become like the kind of like
the truth,
not what she was expecting from the tea and the biscuit guy.
Yeah.
Then she become more angry. You see me as this. You see me as this. You can see the white people are not even responding.
I know, because it's like, you're right. At first, it sounded like the guy was being like a simp, But the guy started hitting her with reality, because I think that guy, he's second generation Nigerian too, but at least he's got sense.
Yeah, because he was sitting down there behaving very nice. Kind of guy you can serve tea to and biscuits and eat some sedatives.
Yeah.
And look, that's what I'm saying. Let me just tell you, Afridamus, look, when you start losing yourself, it becomes a very big problem. At first, when you're young, it's okay. Because when you're young, you have mind of an adventure. You have that mind of adventure. You want to try different things, and when you start getting older, you start realizing that, whoa, I just made some mistake somewhere. You understand? So that's why most of these Nigerians who claim to be Black Americans, because that's what Nigeria copied them anyway.
They copy the accent, Black British.
Or Black British. You start hearing the accent.
See, she's got the bird claws.
Yeah, then if you go over there, even in the UK, because I've been to UK a lot of times, right? Even in the UK there, you can see some of them sometimes they want to pretend a lot. Also, even when they know you're Nigerian, they just want to pretend like it's almost like a class of a thing. They just push into that kind of accent.
I've seen that. That's why I'm laughing.
They just switch to that accent, then they just start pretending something else. You understand? Because it don't really help. It don't really help whatever you want to be and everything. But if you check the Indians or the Pakistanis who live in London or in England, there you can see they still hold on to their culture. They see.
Yeah, that's. I noticed that, but see, yeah, I think she's gonna end up in Lagos at some point. So
we too, because because Nigerian men are a little bit something else, huh? Because when they come to Lagos, they'll start looking like guys who have money. First of all,
they would fake it.
Yeah, they would take their accent there's a lady I've seen in Nigeria who came from United States. He came with such a strong American accent and everything. I'm a lawyer, I'm this and that and that. At first, he said, yeah, if I want to get to marry, I'll get to marry to this. At least the guy will be okay, have some money, everything. The ladies get that for years. Nobody. Because these Nigerian guys they don't want you. They don't really want you. They don't want you. They have the guys with money don't want you. They don't want anything to do with United States.
Yeah.
They don't want it to do with Britain. They just want a wife because they have their own money. They live large. They live in their own houses, big houses. So they want a wife that will be as wife. You understand?
Not the one talking about I make my own money.
They're not into that. So the ladies there now for some years be looking for. No, rather seeing the guy who already have a guy who's want to have side chick. You understand?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be side chick. But later, you'll be a side chick. You understand me? That would be
I think I noticed a side chick, crying from her. Let's hear a little bit. I think I hear that in her voice. The side chick crying.
Though that's why you're getting hate, because you have a bit of a balance.
I'm mostly getting love. I'm just saying I think there's a couple guys in the chat who have what I call red pill rage.
Yeah, but as soon as you started talking about the balance, there was rage.
Yeah,
that's because I do think men just see us as sex objects.
We generally
don't respect us. I don't think men respect us. They respect their other fellow men. They see a man and think, oh, he's strong. Yeah, he can do this. They see a woman, she's weak. All I want to do is put her penis inside of her.
I think if I were making a statement that broad and generalized about women, you wouldn't like it.
Would you say, do you have brothers?
Yeah.
Do you have cousins, boy cousins?
Yeah.
Is your father still in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that since you're clumping all of them together, you say they just want females for sex?
Like I will say that because a lot of the time I will have to even check my brother to say, why are you not allowing her to make a decision? It's her life.
So she's got that side chick syndrome hatred. Why would she talk to her brother about the brother's own relationship? You see the type of aggression I'm talking about?
She's lying. She's not real.
I know. She is, these women like her, they come on these shows, they bring their baggage. So I suspect that she's done the side chick job quite a bit, and she doesn't like it.
Yeah, so the guy become more the Nigerian guy become more peace.
Yeah, because you know how like sometimes you hear some of these African women who would call on these shows, and they bring their drama talking that African men are not romantic, blah blah blah. Well, aren't you a married woman? Yeah, maybe talk about your husband. Maybe your husband. You don't need all the other African men to be romantic. You just need your husband. Just like her, instead of saying all the men, no, the ones that she is dealing with, those are the ones she should be talking about. You know, you don't need every man to be romantic, just the one you are dealing with. That's all. But if you say the men, that would mean you are open to giving the romantic option to every man. Unless you're willing to do that, then you can't put every man in it, unless you've been test driving all these men. I mean, sometimes I don't know if some of these women know they're giving the information. If you're saying men, how many men have you test driven? You see? That means, you know, like you're talking about a whole bunch of men. That's where that anger comes from. MS Delta say, wow, she been dating British Rere and Pookies. That's what I suspect. I mean, Pookies and Reres are everywhere. They are everywhere. Yeah, they do have the British Pookies and Reres, you know, and it looks like, man, the British Pookies and Reres are not showing homegirl, you know, full love over here. In fact, they're trying to show her love, but she's angry. She's angry.
We'll check men. Even if I love you, I also have to understand that women need to be respected. It's not happening. We look at the comments.
Do you check women for not being the things that men want?
Like, do you know
so if a girl's like being a hoe, will you check her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I check men. So when she was talking about the story about the woman that had 16 kids and the man that had 16 kids, to me, both of them hoes. I don't see her as a hoe.
So she wants to be the arbiter of the truth. So these people, just because they have 16 kids, doesn't necessarily mean they out-whore all the other people. You see, you just saw their results. That doesn't mean they are out-sexing everybody else. That's not what's happening. I mean, maybe they are more careless than the average person, but that doesn't mean that, you know, like they are more whorish than, you know, you who we can see your 16 children, you know. Maybe they got flushed down the toilet. You never know, right? So we can't really judge it like that. But she totally, like she said, she wants to be in charge. When you hear that, those are the red flags to show that she is controlling. Very controlling.
No, I'm sorry. Both of them need to be held responsible. And I think that's what's not happening. We keep slut shaming women, but a man is a gallist. You know, women love.
I think gallist. I think that's like the word for player in the Pookie and Ray Ray term over there in the UK. I guess that's a lingo. So again, she envies men. Look, that's just how it is. The men, you know, if they're getting women, they call them player from the Himalayas. Did we create it that way? No, that's just how it is. But now, ma'am, if you want to do the same thing as them, they would call you name. Like, for instance, you have to understand, like, you know, for your own sanity and for your own health, why would she use those as the example? That tells you her head is not in the right space. Her head is not in the right space. She just wants to play like the men, and that's why she's angry, because she can't win. She's looking at it in that way, and she's looking for relationship. She probably wants to, hook up with all these guys thinking they're gonna keep her as girlfriend, but she keeps losing. She keeps losing.
Him. We're not putting responsibilities on men, and I think it's a problem.
I think that
and she keep talking about respect. She doesn't know respect at all. No respect. MS Delta, thank you for the super chat. He said the black man in the panel is nice, but she still is disrespectful. Yes, she is.
Have all the responsibility. Again, like men pay for everything. Every decision they make,
And I
there's a
don't think they
consequence.
should. I don't think they should.
But I'm saying like we're not putting any of the responsibility. I'm saying we're not putting any of the responsibility. You're saying we're not putting the responsibility on men. I'm saying they have all of it because there's a consequence when they do something. There's not for women. So if anything, you could argue it more the other way around.
Do you know what I think is really, really confusing with this point where we are right now in modern society is people really want to have the cake and eat it too. People want to be traditional, to kind of cherry pick some of the traditional elements and the gender roles, and then completely have like this total equality view in other places, and kind of cherry pick from all these things. And these things don't work together. They don't work.
What he's saying, people want to treat relationships like a Chinese buffet. They think you can just go stand in front of the menu and be like, I want to order Kampao chicken or Mongolian beef. It's like, okay, sometimes if you want to mix all these different foods, like you and your stomach are gonna have some problem. So that's what most people are doing. That's what they're doing. Kidola, go ahead before we close out. Kidola, are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, man.
Kidola, what do you think about her crazy frustration talking about how she wants things to be?
She's pissed. You see, she wants to be in control of that show. You understand? She wants to be in control of that show. Then when she's not in control of that show, and when this guy started kind of like coming with points, trying to check her, then she become more pissed. You understand? These are the problem we have with Nigerian diaspora who live in Nigeria. You understand me? Even the Nigerians that ever move over there, that they're very bitter that come at the time, because they have one kind of belief that they believe. So they call men all kind of different type of names. You know what I'm saying?
Is it like that over in Nigeria? Do the women?
No. In Nigeria, no. In Nigeria, not at all. 100% not at all. The Nigerian women that live in Nigeria know they are women.
Right.
Understand? The men know they are men. That feminism is not there. But Nollywood. So Nollywood girls will try to come up with this kind of like faking it and everything. That's why you see most Nollywood girls most of them have no husband.
Yeah.
Most of them, they're not, even when men marry them, will not last up to about a week or highest 6 months. The OT will just collapse.
Yeah, because they are drama. They live in a fantasy.
They live in this kind of fantasy. They think because they are in this position, they deserve that one kind of position. And in reality, it does not come up like that. That's just the truth. What we try to say is yes, Nigeria have a problem of this kind of too much pandering to another person's culture, or want to adapt it to other person's culture, and they want to even overperform that culture. I think I use Nigeria because I'm from Nigeria, but the other African countries, they're also like that also. Because right from when they get into these Western countries, due to Africa was having a bad reps, they want to be all that and all that and all that.
And Kidola, were you surprised to hear when Jude said he used to tell people that he's Jamaican?
Yeah, I was very surprised. Very surprised.
Yeah.
I was very surprised because he's just honest.
Yes.
Jude is just honest.
Yeah.
That and the more you stay, the more you become more Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
Then because they did graduate, okay, I'm this. Then now you become more irritated, more frustrated. Then you start having low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Imaginary problem. People are pressing you. then you want to copyright the the other side, then you become Pan-Africanism, or you start speaking other so kind of mind of.
Well, it looks like the men become Pan-Africans, and the women become feminists. Like, what is going on with Nigeria?
Yeah, that's just the problem. That's just the problem. If you come to Nigeria, you see them, but when they're in Nigeria, because sometimes they hang around some certain circle of friends, but at the time you see them started complaining, "Oh, I just want to be this." Sometimes they go to all this club to meet some of these guys, all these Yahoo boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when they don't get all these Yahoo boys, then they become something else. You understand? They don't come to look for the honorary ones. You understand me? And you talk about baby mama. If you go to Nigeria, so Nigeria must be like semi-Mecca for other blacks also, like Black Americans are coming to look for something else there.
Yeah.
You know, but some of these women have 5 children also, 4 children. So
the single moms.
Yeah, the single moms are running to Nigeria.
I've seen some appear in Gambia.
Yeah, so they're looking for all this some in Ghana, you know. So one rejected in America, in London.
And you know, like Kiddo, if you look at like in Nigeria, right? If a man, like let's say this woman that run with these single moms with their kids showing up, most of the men that would even pretend to marry them, do you think if they do it meaningfully, society, how do they look at them there?
You see, this, there are societies I want to say, but so guys, no, why you say? You see, these Nigerian guys are just might be, looking for something, because Nigerian culture really, when you have a child, you hardly get remarried again. You have to be very lucky. You have to be extremely lucky. You have to be extremely lucky because they will ask you how and different things. It's just the culture there. You understand?
Because I remember some of these places, West Africa, like those countries around there. Some of these women, when they have a child, before when they meet you, they hide it. They will lie about it.
They will lie about it. You never even know.
Yeah.
She might even take you to their village. You might be seeing the child who's it's my brother's child. But some of these Black Americans are coming to look for something else in Nigeria, because sometimes they're straightforward. They might even say this thing to these guys. These guys.
No, because that's the thing. Like because in the West here they've normalized it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why this woman became combative. Like when they say to you, "Oh yeah, it's a noble thing. You got to take care of somebody else's child." They've said this to them for so long. They think this is normal, not realizing still in other societies, they still operate like naturally normal. Like you tell these guys, "Oh yeah, I'm a single mama," like they're gonna be happy to come take care of your child. That's looked down upon. Like nobody wants to take care of somebody else's child.
In harmony, you can't have like all of it, right? If it's like, okay, we're gonna just treat men and women exactly the same with very few accommodations, no special treatment and so on. We're not going to have chivalry and, men and women and men, women and children get off the boat, the sinking boat first, right? You can't, in a truly equalist society, you can't have those accommodations.
But I do already agree with that.
Yeah.
I think a man, if he says, "I don't want to propose to you, babe," I understand because you know what, rings are expensive.
Yeah, she's just delusional. Her telling us a fan is the man doesn't want to propose. Rings are expensive. She's one of those girls who said they act like they hate men. They say they got money, but they think they want a man to propose to them and give them a ring. Delusional world. You're gonna run into this. You will run into this more than you think. There's nothing more exhausting and annoying than to spend your time around somebody like her, arguing about useless things, because it's already in her head. Like, she's like, oh, guys say to their guy friend, you're strong, blah blah blah. They see a woman. I don't know any guy who just, you look at your guy, oh, he's strong, and you see a woman, you're like, she is weak. You hear this kind of crazy talks on the internet. Like, in real life, I don't even know if I've known any guys who would compare the strength or weakness of a woman to a man. Like, regular people are not sitting thinking this way. So this is something that is taught, and she really thinks she can bring it to the real world. It doesn't translate. Eventually becomes like a mental illness, because what she's thinking and how she thinks the world should be doesn't match reality. This idea that, men and women are going to be equal, you treat everyone the same. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't think she has any clue. Like, I don't think she really wants men to treat her like they treat other men. Seriously. I don't think she wants that. Most of the women that ask for that, I don't think they have any idea. You don't want men to treat you like other men. It's not going to work. It is not going to work, because that would mean you're saying, don't see me as a woman, see me like just your guy friend. Or a man saying, no, see me like one of your girlfriends, how you treat them. Like, one time this one girl, she tried to get me to, she's like, let's do horseplay. I was like, I don't do no damn horseplay I'm a grown man. Like, but she has this envy. She wants to do horseplay. And I was like, look, clearly I am way stronger than her. And she can see this. But in her head, I don't know what she was thinking. She wants to do this horseplay. But now, if something goes wrong, right? Something goes wrong. Guess what? I could be called an abusive guy. So don't even go there. Don't even try it. Just the fantasy. I mean, it's mind blowing. So it's the same thing she's suffering from. All her descriptions is about how a man is this way, how a man is that way. Men's physical attribute. And she's not talking about it in terms of being attracted to it. She's talking about it in terms of her being seen like a man. I don't think she even realized that's what she is saying. So maybe deep down, she thinks she's a man. I don't know.
Let's go off then. You know what I mean? I already think that.
But the reality is that men and women, due to our biology, we're still wired to be attracted to the same things that our ancestors were. So generally speaking, even though yes, women can make money. In fact, under the age of 30, in most cases, in many Western countries now, women actually out-earn men on average, right? It's not until they get into their 30s and oftentimes start families that it switches, because they're the ones who get pregnant and breastfeed and so on. It makes sense. But where was I going with this? I lost my.
Anyways, she's not gonna get it. Kidola, what do you want to say before we close out from all the stuff that she is saying?
What I see here is this. It's good that you brought such a program.
Yeah.
It's good that you also point out Nigerians out, because we in Nigeria will be complaining about these things also. That they have to be who they are. They have to be proud of where they're from. You understand? What I see here is she's in a society whereby, you see, when Africans are in a society, sometimes they want to be more into that society than the people that really owns the society, right? They start swimming into a society that doesn't really fit into who they are, right? Because they're being raised at home by an African woman, you know what I'm saying? And when
So
they
there's
raise
confusion.
they start become confusion, because in a way you can differentiate an African child from a Black American child. First of all, home raising is different, you know. So try to be feminist. Why the white people that are sitting down there, they're not even feminists, but you can see at the end she was very aggressive towards the guy.
Yes,
And the
she
guy,
is definitely an aggressive woman.
the guy was not like taking it at all. The other Nigerian guy was just like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. Then
Right.
start coming about the victim side. You look at us like this, you look at us like this, you understand? You know, that's just the way it is, because that is confused of identity. And that's what that's normally that's what happened to all these things. Then at the end of the day, they will only return back home. Then the home will say, no, you're too westernized. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah, it's wild. And Kidola, the other day, I wish last week you were here for the show, but I realized maybe it was late in Nigeria last Sunday for the the Islamic one. I hope you had the chance to listen.
I watch it, you know. What I said there is the guy is not a real Muslim. I don't think if Les is even a Muslim, it would be like a Muslim but don't really practice. You know,
But he
like
said he speak Arabic.
Just a guy, just a foreigner guy. He's not a real Muslim. You know, Muslim guy would know what is written in that Quran. You know, because they read not a Muslim. They have their own Quran. They read in Hausa. You know what I mean?
So see, I was correct when I said they have it in Hausa and even the language. Yeah.
The a real Muslim will not even start arguing with that guy at all. A northern Muslim will not even call into such a show. You understand? That guy might be in a Muslim somewhere in the south, but we want to prove I'm a Muslim. Or it might not even be a Muslim. It's just a guy who just hustle there. You know, it's just a hustler. No, but not a real one.
So some people do that. Why am I surprised?
Yeah, so this happens somehow, this happens that people come on to hustle and they make full out of themselves. You understand?
Yeah.
Afridamus, man, thank you for having me on your show, man.
Hey, thank you for coming out. Yeah, I know Sundays I'll come early, so you can call in.
God bless, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you've learned from the show. Pretty much, as you can see in the West, when you engage these women in real conversation, they are going to try to twist the conversation, but just be patient, be vigilant, don't get upset, ask questions, and do the back and forth. Sometimes it does bring sense to people, sensitize them to realize that, hey, the way you are thinking about this is not real. Because sometimes you could be thinking about these things, arguing with yourself, convincing yourself that, oh, this is how it is, and you're around all those friends, they are telling you the same thing. You go on the internet, you hang around the same people that share your opinion. But as soon as you step out of that echo chamber, you would face reality. And I understand sometimes reality makes some people upset. If you are one of those people, don't get upset. Just allow the message to come through, filter it through, and see exactly what I'm conveying here. And also, I notice some people think that it's going to be, oh, the person have to say the word and spell it out. Sometimes you got to use common sense. Like the person can say things in description. They don't have to give one word answers. But when they describe it, okay, this is what this person means. Like, she's not going to say, oh, I'm a feminist. Most feminists wouldn't say that. You see? But you listen to them and they give you their diatribes that you've heard before, you're like, oh, all right, this person is a feminist. Or the arrogance, the person, they're not gonna be like, they're not gonna accept it. They're gonna try to pretend like they are being humble, but are they really? They're not. So either way, I don't judge things according to that. I don't try to say you're respectful or not respectful, or humble, not humble. I just want you to treat people the way you want to be treated. That's all. The golden rule. That's what I go by. I'm not going to try to tell people to go against their nature, nor would I allow someone else to tell me that. I don't care how much your feelings are going to get hurt, or to try to say, I can believe you said this. Oh, I can believe you are thinking this way, and it's not stopping there. You are voicing the way you think, and you don't expect me to respond to that. See, that's what most people are facing. And what even makes it worse in the West, you look at it, so many of these men are getting raised by single women. What do they promote at home? Make the woman happy. You cannot make an individual happy who isn't already happy. Like in this video, that young woman in the UK, it looks like she said she's educated, check, right? She makes her own money, check. She's in good health, and I'm sure she's living in a good, environment. She's check all the boxes. What is missing? Why is she so angry? Why isn't she happy? There are tons of women like her. So the material thing is not what is missing. That's not what it is, but it's the way they are interpreting it. See, the moment a woman steps out of her role, she loses herself. She loses her identity. And whether it is a first generation Nigerian, American, or British, or somebody from, wherever, it's just the same spirit, the same way of thinking. When you come to the West, you want to be more feminist than the white women themselves, then you lose, and you lose big time. So please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I will see you guys here, and like this show, please. Okay, I'll see you out.